good? Mike, you're out of here?
Yeah, I gotta roll.
Okay, well,
What else you need?
nothing. I just was wondering if you wanted to chat with us for a minute.
Just a minute.
We have Gus on the Learning to Lose podcast. Did you press record on the camera? No. Billy is not here.
Billy is not. Is he?
Which is kind of ironic because I've been pretty like upset with him, and I called him. I reached out before the meeting just to make sure he was coming because we kind of had a little bit of a situation happen this weekend. You want to close the screen, Mikey? But Tim, if you want to sit down, I don't know if Billy's coming or what. It's kind of a bummer, you know?
Yeah.
But Gus has a year sober.
Yeah. 1 year today.
Let's talk into the mic.
I am. I'm just setting back up.
Okay.
I'm just taking my phone out of my pocket.
Be careful. We got so here we go. We'll turn you up. We got Greg here.
Hey.
Yo.
Greg's been helping a lot lately.
Greg's the man.
Greg has been helping with the Hypercrush. We're getting ready to put out some Hypercrush stuff, and we put something out already. We have 2 more things to put out. And we're thinking about doing a Zoom show, like sell tickets to like a party.
You do realize we're a partner in a virtual stream
Well,
platform.
no, that's what I actually wanted to talk to you about Cisco Adler. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Hypercrush, that's something.
Yeah, because the good news is that you're collecting fans worldwide. So I don't know how many tickets Hypercrush is worth in one city these days, but they're definitely worth.
Well, that's what he was tripping on. Tell him about the Kick thing.
So there's a platform called Songkick that people can subscribe to their favorite bands to know when shows are coming up. Hypercrush has like 30,000 something people waiting for their next show. So
Yeah, I know that site.
yeah,
I didn't even know we had subscribers.
just
He's
waiting
like,
on
this
shows.
was-
Songkick and Bands in Town were like the two.
Scoot
ones.
in, and then like, so it's not like scoot in and then like, no, like.
This is how I'm sitting.
So that this is putting so much strain on the bass. You can still lean back. Like what I like to do is if
We're
you
good.
scoot in
Let's
like
move
this.
on.
No, I'm gonna
walk us through it,
finish
Pat.
this. I mean, there's no reason to skip over stuff. Let's finish it.
Bye, Mikey. Thank you.
You see, you can kind of scoot in, and you feel that.
You feel it?
It's because if it's like all the way stretched out, it puts a lot of strain.
Then you're
on.
fucking with the cow rug.
Yeah, that's fine. You can go over it. So yeah, we're thinking about doing that. I wonder if Cisco could help us.
It's not really a help. It's a platform that gives you guys a place to host it. You guys do the promoting.
So why is that better than Zoom?
No. We're going to use this platform.
It's got a built-in.
I would love to,
audience, right?
But I'm just like wondering. He's saying it's not. I'm saying could he help? He's like, no, it's not help. It's just.
I mean,
this.
it is a place where people can go there. They go to the site and they see who's coming up. So there is a percentage of people that will also join in, but it's mainly the band that's promoting it.
So like, why? Like, yeah, like I don't know if I'm like super excited about doing like a Zoom show. That's like Does that sound kind of weird? Or I don't know.
Yeah, no, do it. That's the only thing you can do.
No.
But how are they people? I don't really know how the ticket purchasing experience works with that. And this site is specifically built that you have VIP tickets, you have regular tickets. Wow. It's like
just do like a $5 ticket to anybody. Who cares?
Gus, you're not like listening.
Okay. I am listening.
Okay, all right. This is a test. Let's see if he's listening. What's the?
You want to do a Zoom show, an online stream. Right? Tim's telling you can use this platform and host it there. You could sell tickets. You could sell VIP. You could do that. You're not listening.
No, but they're 2 different things, right? So the Zoom show would be us doing it on our own.
Yeah.
Cisco Adler has a platform called
No Cap
that he does it.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's the difference?
Can you charge tickets on Zoom?
Totally. So we can sell pre-sales and give people like the exclusive link once they pay for it. There's several platforms we can use
Like
for this.
that's what Greg was talking about doing. And then I was like, yo, like Cisco, but like at the same time, I was thinking, I don't know if we're like big enough for that. Or,
I mean, would Cisco like help promote it too? Does he?
They're not really. I mean, they do a little promotion, but they're not really promoters.
I mean, I would just love to do it with Cisco just because he's the homie.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, I feel like there's got to be some benefit.
I mean, the platform's there. Like Bad Religion did it.
Yeah.
Facts. Like, why don't you just do it on
There's got to be some benefits.
I mean, Zoom just sounds so stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's
I'm
also
doing a
like
Zoom show.
It's we're making an edit out of it. I mean, Zoom. You're not really
That's
doing
even
like
better.
You know.
No, that's what we're gonna
Right.
do. See, that's the thing. See, we could do like a dope hangout interview, and it you know, it's you're selling tickets to a show, like a live show, but really it's like
An
Well, there's two
experience.
versions. We do it. We've done them pre-tape and we do true live stream. The pre-tapes are a little bit better because you can put a little bit more into the editing.
It's actually
you can
not-
add in the B-roll.
it's actually not live.
Right.
We throw the interview in there. You throw the hang with Pat and Veronica and the Learning
Yeah.
to Lose crew, and then you could throw. See, that's the other thing I was thinking about doing is if we could do like a like yeah, let's hit it. I'm fucking ready, bro. I'll turn it on. So we're talking about doing procrastinating for when he turns on the camera, so that I can, because
you never know.
yeah, because we were saying we could sell tickets to a live stream, and if it could involve like me and Veronica, and we could use our new TikTok platform and be like, yo, like come hang out with me and Veronica, maybe watch the premiere of the show and do the Hypercrush show. We could really sell tickets. Hopefully Steve and Ange are down for the link up. And maybe if we get Dom involved somehow.
Oh, just make it a show. We got this.
Like a hangout party / show.
Have Jason come in and do some haircuts or something. I don't know.
Also, just so you know, Dom like wants to do a collab like badly. So I think we're gonna put the next single out like Dirty Dom and Hypercrush, which he didn't do anything, but we're just gonna put his name on the song so he can promote it to all his million listeners. Or
Smart.
You know.
Yeah. It just sounds more fun. Zoom.
So Tim, what do you think about Gus being sober?
It's a good boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of one. I can only think of positives. There's like not a con to even put on a pros and cons list, really.
Right.
Thank you.
It's just a good thing.
Like when it comes to Gus, or like when it comes to like you or everyone?
Gus.
Right.
I think
Right.
like certain people, it really sucks when they have to go out. Like, because if like I lose a good drinking buddy because they get all into pills or something, but like Gus wasn't like, I prefer hanging with Gus, as he is now. He's just more on point. Cause like, you know, we can go on about me, so let's not go off on that tangent, but it's, but he wasn't like drinking. It didn't feel like for the right reasons. He would like get like weirdly like confrontational,
right?
And like I can put up with people being kind of sloppy,
right,
and things like that. But when it comes to like people wanting to get like violent or confrontational, or like they were just really just trying to poke you.
Is that how Gus? Is that I don't
Well,
remember
Tim
you ever
had a
getting like that, Gus.
No, I mean, when we like, there was a point where I was, and Tim had a nickname for me. It was Young Tyson.
Young Tyson, because he would just, he would just like get all
got
confrontational and like
confrontational.
want to like fight about shit.
Really?
Not Tim, but like fight people.
Yeah,
really
At the bar.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, because you know what? I never really hung out with you.
yeah.
No, like at the bar, you never did. No,
Right. So I don't really remember.
I mean, you did hang out with me at Goody and Alma's wedding.
yeah,
you got a little taste.
You know what? There's just something about his face. He's not quite.
I'm checked out.
Yeah, he's
I'm
not
out.
quite there.
Nope.
Yeah. Which I could say the same for Tim, but like not. But Tim's like fun. He's not really like a bat. Like it's not like I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's
I used
weird.
to be like fun, and like we've had so many fun times, like
of course
Vegas trips and this and that, and going out to bars, and it just became like the past 4 years just got really dark. you know, and it wasn't.
Well, it's funny. I'm actually reading I'm taking 3 different guys through the steps right now, and in the middle of the first chapter in the 12 and 12, it talks about how once you, which is kind of funny. I feel like Tim's been around the rooms, but he never really committed, because I feel like he's smart enough to know that once he goes in all the way, you don't really ever get to come back out the same.
You'll
never be able to drink without guilt.
That's it. You can't really ever enjoy it the same way again. So it talks about having, in the beginning when AA started, it was usually just like really low bottom drunks, but then like some kids started coming in, like, you know, higher bottom, and they were like, oh, well, how are we supposed to admit complete defeat when our lives haven't gotten really that bad? So they would go back out.
That's me.
And inevitably, they come.
Well,
and inevitably,
here's what
it gets
so funny
bad
when you said that.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Inevitably, it gets really bad, and they come back because they got a head full of AA, and that doesn't mix with a stomach full of alcohol.
Yep. When it turned for me was when I started taking me to prime time.
Yeah.
And like before that, I was just like, I was chill. Remember, like just like stupid shit, you know, getting drunk and like sending the wrong email or like fucking doing some like whatever off the wall shit. But like, it was never like mental for me. And then Pat took me to prime time, and I had like a year sober. Remember?
Yep.
And then after that, when I started, I remember like I took a year cake and I left and went to the liquor store.
Yeah, like congratulations.
I feel like I feel like that's common in AA. Like pivotal milestone moments, just for some reason, somehow that just takes you there.
Yeah.
And then that's
maybe it's because
exactly
you're convinced that at those kind of moments is when you've convinced yourself that like, oh yeah, I'm good. I could do that.
Right.
Yeah. And then it ends up being like worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It just it got to a place where you were like, it even wasn't even violent. If you would get drunk, you just, for some reason, started thinking that people were talking about you all the time.
Right.
You would come up to like a group of people talking, and you're like, what? Like, it had nothing to do with you at all. And we'd just be like, what? No, nothing. And you'd be like, come on. It was kind of like
goodies.
Yeah, it was a light version of what that was. You know? But it was like just stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it just became like, you know, a way of checking out for me. It wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like we like, I can't remember the last time, like, well, I can, but like the last 4 or 5 years, like I wasn't even like drinking out with the homies or like at a show.
Yeah.
Like I was drinking in my fucking apartment, blasting heavy metal and like dark death metal and like being all in my head and like texting like girls to come over. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The amount of times that I've drinking alone in my entire life, I could probably count on one hand, maybe.
Wow. Really?
Like I've just occasionally, the only times I've ever done it, I think, is knowing that I'm about to go. Like I'll maybe start like kind of pre-partying by myself, knowing I'm going out to other people. But if I know I'm not going to see anybody,
it was different
like
for me. Like chance. it was the opposite. Like I knew that
when you go out, you wouldn't drink.
No. Yeah, I knew that if I started drinking, that was the end of my night. I was in my apartment, like. Just be like drunk, and people be like, "Oh, Tim would be like, come meet us, dude. Come hang out at this fucking bar or whatever." I'll be like, "Nah."
Yeah.
So what happened a year ago?
I just decided that I just was like tired of being tired, and tired of like doing that to myself, and like I was walking around constantly like full of anxiety and just in my head all the time, unhappy, like waking up just like feeling like a piece of shit. You know, every day. And it was weird too, because like I was like probably at the height of my career, you know, at Live Nation, like producing major tours. And that was the thing, like I never let it like cross over like that. I never went to work drunk or like I never even drank. We had a bar, dude. We had a full stocked bar in our lobby with a bartender, anything you want ever. Like people would hang out there after work, I would drink, I would go home. It was just, I don't know. I was like very like, I disconnected the two, but I drank when, like, just to get out of my head and like be happy, you know? It was weird.
So what happened? Was it like an AA meeting? Like, what was that?
No, I went to a treatment center.
Okay.
In Palm Springs.
He went out with a bang, though, right?
Oh yeah, that was.
He knew he was going to go, which is I do the same. If I knew I was going to actually give a real stab at getting sober for whatever reason, I would best believe I'd go on one last final fucking.
I did.
Hoorah.
I went hard. Yeah, I did, and like it was. Well, the funny thing is, like I was working with Jason. I was sober for a couple months, and I was let go from Live Nation for other things. Not drug or alcohol related, but like a shift in departments and it was just a bunch of bullshit. And like I used that as like okay, now my life's over. Like my identity's done. You know what I mean? Like I can't look at myself knowing that I'm not going to do this and this. And then like I went on like a 5-day binge of just fucking smoke.
What was the treatment center like for you? Was it like a vacation spot or was it more like actual real work?
It was work for sure, but like it was weird because like from the second I got there, like when I went to the treatment center, I was kind of coming out of like the 4-day haze, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not really. Like I was, you know, abused my fucking shit out of myself for like 4 days. And then on Sunday I was like, okay. Like Clint came over, my best friend from Santa Barbara. He said like it was just like my parents were involved because I was like, I need attention. Like this is what's going on. Like I'm going to Vegas. I'm taking 10 grand to Vegas and that's it. Like I just like started fucking freaking my family out. And so like I went, my dad drove me to Palm Springs and I got there and like they gave me a Valium to like go to sleep because I was like obviously full of anxiety and like couldn't even like look at myself. And then I woke up and like a day or so goes by. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here, dude? There's like this kid who coming in from heroin and like this guy, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck this. Like this is Pat. Where's Pat? And we're just talking about some cool shit.
Yeah, I can imagine that when you actually like you snap into it and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? I shouldn't be here. I don't need this. He got to his treatment center. You know, like when he went on a bender before he knew he was going to go to the treatment center, but he went on like a nice little bender and wanted a bunch of attention. So he like got his parents involved and like was threatening to do all sorts of, you know, I don't know about suicide, but like threatening to go to Vegas and things like that.
Yeah, just like off the wall shit. Like my dad called Pat. Remember that? Pat didn't know. He was just like,
I feel like you called me or Danielle called me or something. So, and then you went to the spot.
Yeah, well, I went. So Jason's like, all right, I'm going to take you, like, take your money and pay for a month at the Sober Living, Genesis house. And I get there and I walk in. And it's like this. I'm telling the story because it's going to come back around a year later. It's like this crusty old guy walks in, opens the door. He's like, welcome to the Genesis house. And like, he's like, all right, you're gonna sleep here. And like, I walk into the bedroom and like, there's dust flying off the bed. And I'm like, I'm like wasted still. I'm like, I ain't fucking. And I left.
Yeah.
I went back to my house and like fucking continued to the wreckage. And then I woke up the next day and I just like didn't do shit that day. Like I mean, I continued to do what I was doing. And then they tried to take me there one more time, and I went in. I stayed for an hour and left again.
It's Genesis.
Yeah. And then my dad's like, well, your sister found this cool place in Palm Springs. And like my thought process at the time was like, okay, well, I kind of been like wanting to get away and like work on this, like for real. Because I've put together time. Like I was doing good, like, you know, whatever. And so I was like, fine, I'll go to this fucking place in Palm Springs. And
what was that called?
Phoenix Rising. So I get there and like a couple days go by and like there's, you know, people in there with real fucked up, like, shit going on, like, you know, overdoses and shit. I'm like, well, I don't belong here. This is fucking... I was like, whatever, I'll give it a couple more days. And then at the treatment place, there was, like, equine therapy. Basically, they...
Horse. Equine therapy, petting horses.
Yeah. So that's what made me stay. Listen to this. I don't know if I told you this.
Oh, shit. You did.
I did, dude.
You saw a fucking horse that changed your life.
Oh, let's hear it.
So I'm like, fuck, dude. You know, so basically this was the equine therapy. Like, kids who like really bad disabilities came in, and we would like put them up on the horses and walking around the pen. And like, I'm talking like deformations, retardations, like just like autism, like real bad shit. And then this kid rolled up in a wheelchair. He's like, I mean, the worst you could possibly get, the poor kid. Like, can't talk, like, you know, like everything. It's complete, like, doesn't have control of his body, can't talk, can't, like, understand what's going on. And, like, he was freaking out, screaming. He had this, like, squeal he would do. And then, like, no one could put him on the horse. And, like, I walked over there, and, like, the second I walked over, he, like, grabbed my hand. And he, like, walked me over the, like, he would only go with me to the horse. And I walked him around the pen for a while, and he was like holding my hand, and like I broke down and like started crying, and like I just felt this overwhelming sense of gratitude, and like, this could be me, you know what I mean? And this is definitely like, if I believed in God before, but like that moment, like I just felt like a crazy like rush of, it's hard to explain, like when you have that connection, and like where I just felt like out of my body, and I just knew I was in the right place, you know, because I was like ready to bounce. I was like, I'm done, I'm leaving. Like, I was like ready.
Janet. Oh, what was the place called again?
Phoenix Rising.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, I'm out of here tomorrow. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, I have money, I'll just fucking go do whatever I want to go do. Or I wasn't necessarily gonna go out and like go drinking. I was just like, I needed to get out of there, come back. But anyways, I ended up staying, and I met some great people. I did a lot of work on myself. Like, I really just started opening up about stuff, and you know, and it went by really quick. Like, the first week was horrible. The second week got a little better. Then like, I was like, dude, this is great. Like, I don't have to worry about shit except like working on myself and like writing stuff down, and like, you know, doing some real work that I've like never done before. And
like what?
Just why am I feeling unhappy about this? Like, why am I not enough? Why do I feel like I need to be this person? And then a lot of it has to do with my dad, like, you know, 8-time Grammy winner. Like, why am I always chasing him? Like, why can't I just be happy in my own lane when he's happy for me? And there's just always like, I need more, I want more. I'm not happy, I'm not good enough. Like, just like insecurities that I never like really looked at. I just like kept going and like put booze in myself and fed off like, oh, I got the Post Malone tour, I'm good, I got the Iron, you know, like irrelevant external shit. That's the only thing that made me happy. You know, I hadn't been in like love with a girl for like a long time. You know what I mean? Like, I just,
well,
I couldn't.
That was the other thing that I had noticed in the later days of where you got to was just, and we've talked about this many times, but you got to a point where like you'd call me and we were barely done saying what up, and you were already like talking about this new thing that you had at work or something. I'm like, dude, let's get there organically. I will care. But
yeah.
Like, let's like fucking talk first. Like, let's get into this.
By the way, like, yeah, like I think I did tell you, like, when I actually called you from the treatment center and you told me that, like, I broke down again.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, why didn't you just tell me that before? Like, you probably did.
Yeah, I did. I
just never listened, you know? And like with you too, like I remember we were at Van Ness, your old pad.
So wait, hold on a second. Let me just say. So Tim, you just said that you noticed that something was good because he didn't start immediately telling you like,
Yeah, like when
things he's accomplished. He's
If I sit down with somebody and like, I don't want to just get right into work unless you're somebody I'm working with and we're talking about our current work relationship. Like, I'm not trying to hear about your accolades until we've broken some bread. So, you know,
well, and not only that, like breaking bread, it's like you've known me for fucking 20 years. Like, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like I needed to, like, and I've done this with you, not with you, but with you, like, where like you're like, yo, what's going on? I got this. I'm managing Cypress Hill. I got the, and you're like,
it was just every single time we sat down at Sensei before the primetime meeting, it was just a list of all the shit he was working on.
Yeah.
And I would be like, dude, I don't like. It's not that I don't care. I just you realize that like that stuff is not who you are, and like you're gonna always be chasing something, like I was for so long. And then there's been periods of time in my life where I'm not chasing something because I just lost everything. And then as soon as I start getting stuff, I'm in fear of losing that, and I start it's kind of a shit show.
Yeah,
for me.
For sure.
Of like trying to balance. The more I get, the more I want. It's like I can't just have one drink. I either have to not be using at all.
That's exactly.
Or I'm like fucking tripping on the using. And the same thing goes for work and success. As soon as I start like getting into the TikTok thing or the show or the Ridge or whatever it is, I'm all in, and I it's like fucking. It's hard, but there is a way to balance it. You were going to say one other thing about Van Ness or something?
Oh, no, it's just another example of how, like, we were at partying at Van Ness, and you came in, and you're like, what's up, dude? Like, you good? And then, like, this was before, like, prime time and shit, and, like, I just, like, started hitting you with a bunch of, like, accolades shit, and just like, all right. I remember that night. You're just like, I don't really care, dude. Like, I just want to know how you're doing.
Right.
But I've identified.
But like you said in the Pat's way, like you didn't outright say that. You just said it like in a way where you knew something was like.
Yeah. Because I know I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And that was like what my identity had become my accolades. Right. And like if it wasn't right in my head, drinking.
What do you think?
This is an amazing story. So it sounds like you really had to come to terms with yourself for sobriety, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me self-love. Let me fill my cup up.
Well, how do you feel about like giving the bullet points before breaking bread, or like, you know, when you haven't seen someone like, cause this fool's doing a lot of really cool shit.
Right.
Like, even just the other day, I was going out to dinner with somebody. We were in the Uber going on a 5-minute Uber ride to dinner, and they're breaking down everything that's going on in business. I'm like, dude, this is a great conversation for dinner. Let's take this ride and like,
So weird. Because it's like the universe wants you to lead with that, but the reality is like, just show me what you're capable of doing. Like, I don't want to hear what you're doing. Like, bring value to my life.
Well, that's how Greg's been showing up for me. Is he's not bigging himself up. He's just like logging into BMI. He's finding a way to get the donations on Spotify. He's like calling, and he's not like really talking. He's just showing up and being like, "Yo, do you know what your login is for this?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Yeah, here it is." And then 5 minutes later, he's got like merch available on Facebook. I'm like, "Fuck yeah, bro."
But this is dope, like sharing accolades, but then at the same time, it's like, what are you doing today? Right? Like, it's dope to know that we've done things in the past, we've lived former lives, right?
So do you know that what was it called? Hub 101? Mm-hmm. Hub 101 was, I still can't fully understand what that was or how you did that. It was apparently some massive space where he would have and that's how Kaya found us, was through his... Right.
So Hub 101 is a 17,000 square foot space on the Monterrosa Road.
Like, what?
So I was living in Paris at the time, and this university reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we want to bring an entrepreneurship center to life. And so I'm a fan of like creating my own lane, right? So I partnered up with this university who had a space and had a need, right? We need community here. So I came in and filled the space with startups that just crushed it really fast.
Like, how though?
Community. So what happens, there's this misconception that as entrepreneurs we thrive alone, but in reality we thrive in community. So like if you were doing learning to lose by yourself, you'd be fucked. But you need people around you.
Yeah, but how did you find people that were wanting to be a part of that were wanting to start business? Like, if I wanted, if that company came to me right now, I'd be like, okay, me and Tim could go work out of there, but like, I don't think Cisco would want to work there. Like, how would we fill that space up?
Well, Cisco's done a little bit of a similar thing with Cocoon Malibu, which is like, it's an incubator for musicians.
Same with me here. Yeah. But this fool did it in a 17,000 square foot.
How many? Right. Well, let's start with the simple question first: is how did you fill it?
Yeah.
Like, how'd you find the
first it was my network, right? So I'm identifying people that are working on really cool things and inviting them into a community that didn't exist.
And what did the space have to offer? Did they have desk spaces and printers and internet and things like that, or people are
not to gas myself up, but it was me. So like I have a really cool network in tech. I'm like, people fuck with me in the startup world. So like I was able to help that founder go raise $3 million real quick for an idea, or help that startup close a $20 million round. And
because one of the companies needed an investor and you connected the dots.
Right. So I just connect dots.
Can you give us one example?
Totally. So there was a company, a buddy of mine, Steve Gatena, lives here in Westlake Village. And he just showed up to Hub 101 and was like, I'm just going to kick it here. I'm not working on anything, but I know I need to be around this creative energy. So fast forward to a month later, he walks into my office. He's like, dude, I just spent a small fortune on a domain name. Well, what's the domain name? Pray.com. Well, what are you thinking? He's like, I'm thinking like ESPN for religion. Bet, like, let's do something. So 4 weeks later, they closed a $2.5 million round that was led by Kleiner Perkins, who's like one of the biggest VC firms in the universe. And then that was followed up with a $20 million investment. And all this happened within a year span. So like in the tech world, you have people like talking like, here's what I want to do. Here's what I'm about to do. But like in the case of me and my crew at Hub 101, like here's what we're doing. Like,
yeah.
Which is really dope.
How's Pray.com doing now?
They're killing it. They're about to go raise a B round, which is going to be a fat round for them. But they're like one of many startups that came out of there, which is pretty dope.
So it's like hard. It's really hard for me not to like selfishly want to think about how we can. Well, because we got some cool stuff right now that I feel like we put a lot of energy and money into like this show, which you've seen. And even like this movie, and he hit me up on Instagram and he was like, yo, I see what you're doing. I want to like help you with this fucking brand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. So now here he is, and I'm thinking, yo, where's our fucking 10 mil? Or even what?
That venture capital money always comes with strings, you know?
Right.
Where I'd rather not take money. So my claim to success in the tech world was I launched a startup 12 years ago, and I always refused capital. So I'd have VC groups coming at us like, let us invest in your company. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, this is the whole reason I started my business.
Yeah, I mean, loans and investors are an accomplishment. There's an obligation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but like, yeah, it would still be nice to, I guess what I want isn't.
I want all the money. So like in my case, I get to live off of dividends because I didn't raise capital.
Yeah.
Where if I would have raised capital, I would have diluted my equity and I would have had a boss, right? So like I need to return to these investors their money. Like I need to make them money. Like I could get fired, but I didn't want to give up that kind of control.
And you're right. It's not even that we need money necessarily. Like we just need like someone at Netflix or Amazon or Hulu who's like, yeah, I see what you're doing here, and I think we can market this based off of all these different things. You're following Sobriety, Suburban. It's like a very marketable show that we're trying to sell here. It's not like
what's the motive? What's the motive?
I don't think that money necessarily would have changed anything because we
except for maybe made it a little bit better. But if somebody like that got interested, then we could still do that.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: if Netflix comes in or Hulu or a big fucking shark, they're gonna redo the whole shit, dude. They're not gonna just take your shit and put it out,
which would be amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit around and wait for that to happen.
No,
no way. We didn't need to take money. Is the point? We were able to have proof of concept without money.
Yes,
and now we have it, and we still don't have someone who's interested.
Well, dude, don't beat yourself over that. Like I told you weeks ago, like I do not believe shows are getting bought right now.
Well,
and I don't think no one's making shit.
Well, that's what Andy keeps saying, and I do. I get that, but I'm impatient.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm actually in a good place right now. We just got a really cool episode 4 draft. Like, it's really awesome. And it's all about, like, you know, us trying to open this sober living, which is actually going to happen. Could you imagine? Like a show about, like, okay, it's like not, okay, so Prosser's shooting dope. He's 8 months sober now. We start 0 following. We're going to have almost 500,000 by the time the show's done. Want to start a sober living, open a sober. These are all things that are happening in the show. And we filmed all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Rudy, newly sober, Danielle's sober journey, Johnny's sober journey, Billy gets kicked out, lives with Martha. It's all a part of it. So we're just like, we have all this stuff. So I was telling Serena today, I was like, you know what? We're not really in a rush, because like the more time that goes by, the more we're able to see, like, DDA,
the plot actually,
like DDA,
develop.
like, is turning out to not actually be as much of a character as I thought. Sarah is not even probably going to be in the show. And in the beginning, I thought she was going to be like a big, you know, second wife, but really she's not. She doesn't really fit in the way Danielle fits in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's just funny how, like, I feel like, yeah, it just goes back to, like, God has a plan.
Yeah.
And the universe has this way of just chill, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just keep doing your thing, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And Rudy shows up and it's like, oh my God, like, this chick is like her and Wickham. It's just a great, the whole short film thing, and people hating on her and new sobriety. It's like a really good.
The thing is, man, it's like they say that it's so cliche and cheesy, but like patience really is a virtue, and I never like knew that.
Yeah, but it's not. It's patience with commit, like with like vigilance and commitment, and like it's not like. It's like just being the best you can be and doing the best you can do in the day you're in with patience. Like, there's a way for us to do this podcast the best it can be and not be like, oh, I wish it was going to get more results, or, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just, you know, patience as a character.
If you're right.
A characteristic. Like, I've never been patient my whole life. I'm always like, I need this, I want that, I want this, I want it now. Like, it needs to be this way. Right. But, and then, like, I came to Pat with the sober, even though he already had it in his head, too. Like, I came to him with the sober living idea. And he's like, dude, fuck yeah. Like,
well, I mean, I've always been wanting to do that.
I never knew that. I mean, it was never really, like, talked about.
Isn't that weird? That I feel like sometimes the person that you're looking for is, like, right there.
So wait, bring me around. So you go from, like, escaping from places like this to wanting to launch a place like this, right?
Dude, that's the whole fucking thing. Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
So remember when I said I went into Genesis' house and left twice?
Right.
And, you know, I started working with Jason, sponsor, and he's got like a really cool, like in Venice, he's got like a really cool aesthetic. Like
the dude who was just here with the long hair, the men's groomer.
Yeah, I met him years ago when I was.
He has like 200,000, 300,000 Instagram followers.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's doing his thing. I mean, dude, the guy's, you know, he worked at Chris McMillan and did like every celebrity's hair. He's like a top dude in that industry. And I met him 10 years back when I was managing this kid whose parents were billionaires, and like he would, you know, go there and get his haircut and do photo shoots and stuff with us. And I remembered he was sober, so I reached out to him. Anyways, long story short, I came to him, I'm like, dude, I wish, like, I'm glad I went to Palm Springs, but if I walked into a sober living and it looked like what we're going to do, and Pat was there when I walked in, and Jason was there, and there's like surfboards on the wall.
Big ass fucking learning to lose.
So no dusty bedrooms?
No dusty bed, no crusty ass guy like, hey, welcome to Genesis house. I'm like fucking hungover from 4-day binge. Like, funny. I'm like dying looking at this guy's face. I wanted to leave so bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. It was, the guy's been there a million years and he's great, but like, it just didn't work for me. And I'm like, what if we did it like this way? And I brought it to Jason and to Pat actually, and like immediately called Danielle. I'm like, you're in. And I brought it to Pat. He's like, dude, yes. Like, I've been so dying to do something like this. And here we are 8 months later with a house bought, funded.
Yeah, I mean the gift really
animals.
is the gift really is my parents. I'm gonna be honest with you because they seen it save my life, and they own a house in Malibu that is a sober living run by this other chick, and they see it working for her, and it's not really very structured. It's not really like saving or changing a lot of lives. They're getting money from wealthy people, but like I don't know if they're really doing the kind. They're not doing the kind of shit we would want to do. So that's really the blessing. And like I don't know if it's weird. Right now I'm in like a really good place. Last night I was actually picturing, like, I feel like we're almost even at a place where we could put Mikey on, like, making the learning to lose thing that we hang on the wall when you walk in.
No, I want to put that up there. That painting, right when you walk in, that's the one.
Wow.
Remember I said that?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, yeah.
Not like the actual logo.
No.
Right.
Fuck a logo, dude.
Right.
You know, like that. People are going to see that with the cigarette butts. Like,
do you know what I thought of last night? I was thinking of like getting like the biggest like Costco canvas with like the logo. We could do something small like that in the office maybe or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can, I mean, yeah, dude, we're going to make it look dope.
So you're trying to take that out of my house.
That's what you said you didn't want it there. It's too big.
Right. Yeah, that could be cool. We're just talking about putting that big cigarette painting, like right when you walk into the sober living, like on the wall, and just having it be like a dope vibe. Like, yeah, we're all ex-addicts. We're like drug addicts running this house. We're like sober now. Like, what's up? I see you. I am you. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get well.
Yeah.
You fucking lying piece of shit, you.
Yeah.
You fucking selfish, self-centered, made your fucking parents' lives a living hell. Shut the fuck up. Get some humility and let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait,
man.
dude. You know, it's crazy. Like, Tim gets annoyed with like my just wanting to talk things into the ground. But that's like a fucking virtue in this world. The fact that I like to do that, that's the kind of shit you need to do with addicts in new recovery. Like, you need to really figure out what's going on, what's motivating them, what's driving them, where are they lying, where are they being honest, what, like, you got to talk it through with like on a group level. And like, I love doing that.
That's
shit.
the most important thing.
So then where does this desire come in for you guys to put it all on the line to help other people in their recovery process? Like,
I actually just like enjoy like therapy. And like, I'm fascinated by like mental health and like emotional sobriety and emotional intelligence. And I think that's the key to success in life. If you can have the best possible relationships with everyone in your life, it's all about networking. I actually just posted a YouTube video today. Trip on this, dude. This is actually really dope. And like, check this out. Like, what a relationship is going to become, or how dots are going to connect. In this particular situation, it came from Cisco Adler, who is someone that I've known, who's sort of been in my life for over a decade. He's Lou Adler's son. Lou Adler owns the Roxy. Okay, so he has two sons, Nick Adler and Cisco Adler. So the funny part about this story is Nick Adler was Hypercrush's first manager. Okay. He ran the Roxy, so we used to practice at the Roxy, you know, the club on Sunset? Mm-hmm. That's where we used to actually do band practices, because our manager ran the Roxy.
I'm a throwawayer of people. I'm like, I don't want to fuck with this person anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but you're a keeper of people.
I am.
And you had a lot of exposure through the band and just being an outgoing person.
Yeah.
What did that have to do with Cisco and Nick?
Oh.
I think I missed a whole...
You never know what a relationship is going to become, or...
Oh, you're saying because now we're back doing stuff with Cisco?
It's how I met my hero, Fat Mike, which is
gotcha.
Which is the most important part of the video, and it's not in the video.
Right.
But it's a YouTube...
But I get it.
But I should have written in the fucking thing
how I got to.
I'm just posting so much. I get this from Kaya and I just throw it up. Like, it's promoting a longer video that's on YouTube explaining like Aaron Levant and Tall and Agenda and Ridge, and just how, because he's Billy, like, he's about to actually come here, which is actually why I'm now in a better mood, because I was actually really sad that he just totally flaked. I just get sad, like, when any of the people in my life, if a relationship is not good, it just makes me sad.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thinking, oh, he's just going to flake on this? Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't value this.
But again, it comes down to, like, having, like, a little bit of patience. Like, if you wait it out for 20 minutes without, like, going all the way there, like, you're attached to assumptions.
Which kind of, like, brings me to Tim, because, like, I have a lot of fear. We have a lot of fear. I do. I mean, I feel like I could almost be, like, the most fearful, insecure person I know.
I'm right up there with you, bro.
Yeah, but you're able to, like, compartmentalize to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You're able to be like, yo, let's just wait till tomorrow. And, like, dude, I fell asleep last night at 9 a.m. Like,
Today.
I was just up. Like, I literally tried to go to sleep 50 times.
That's the worst.
No, it was like, that's the hamster wheel.
That's the worst
my
feeling.
mind.
I can fall into not falling asleep because I'm thinking, but it's not usually. It could be in some fear, but it's not usually.
That doesn't happen to Tim. Tim's fucking sleeper.
No, but he's in his head about some shit, but he's not thinking like, should I throw Billy away? Is Martha gonna work for the sober living? Is this Nate 2.0? Like, there's a similar thing happening right now where Nate infiltrated my family, and then my family chose Nate over me, and now it's like sort of happening a little bit with Billy, who's my. But
that's
sponsor.
what you thought. But
that's what you thought.
In actuality, they never chose Nate even close to over you.
No, actually, there was a short period of time where, like, I was the bad guy and he was the angel, and then his true colors were revealed, and that was, there was a night where I was, like, in the fetal position on my couch, like, just thinking about it.
I don't even think that
it hurts so bad.
I think Martha, you're not easy to get along with. Nate, at certain points, was just easy.
Yeah.
And you're tough. Mm-hmm. So it's not like picking him over you or he's the angel. It's just like, he's just easier.
Yeah,
easier.
But it was also like, him painting a picture like that we don't pay in time, and him.
That was like I was a part of that, and that was the littlest deal.
Right.
Like, ever. I had one conversation with Martha. I go like, oh, this fool hasn't invoiced me in 2 months. She goes, oh shit, what an idiot, Nate. And
yeah, but you don't really know what's really going on behind the scenes, as far as like her, like my dad calling me saying like, like Martha's saying you're a monster, because I woke him up that day and I'm playing with him and he's playing the victim, and I just there was definitely a big part of that was real. But that's what I love about Tim, is he takes everything with a grain of salt. It's like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. It's not that big a deal. But for me, my mind takes it and it compounds, and I can't. It's hard for me to not make it into worst case scenario.
That's exactly. I know exactly what you're saying.
He makes everything best case scenario. I think that's just kind of how you.
Yeah.
It's like your default is like, oh, it'll come, we'll be all right, they'll get over it, I'll find it.
And that's usually what. But the truth is, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, it's always
90% of the time, our fear.
It's always
is wrong.
No, it's always what happens. And that's what this meeting's all about.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't find his wallet or his phone, which he doesn't a lot of times. It's like you get the new one, and it's like life goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you used to call your parking tickets like life tolls. He's like, I got a $40 parking ticket. I live in LA. It's just a life toll.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like, and I'm like trying to not get the ticket. But like, if you just accept that it's going to happen once in a while, you don't need to like be robbed of that peace of mind. Because like, what could be more valuable than having peace during the day? Nothing's more valuable than that. I'm gonna trip over a $40 ticket. Like,
somebody that ain't calling me back or
and I just
showing up.
So now I just lost like a whole day.
I mean,
what's that worth?
You'll drive back to downtown LA to like go get your vape.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you'll spend a whole day.
Yeah.
Your time's worth more than that. Like, but like, there's some kind of.
But then at the same,
there's positives to certain things on that end too.
Well, I mean,
just
like
being organized and like train, like even not being like a small. It's almost training yourself a little bit to like not leave it or something. Where like things will happen to me in a day. Like I literally, if we're even a parking ticket, since you brought it up, like if I saw that, the level of me thinking about it doesn't even last longer than maybe a second.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like a lot of that is intelligence.
Yeah, and then like Tim doesn't pay for the ticket, ends up being like a $300 parking ticket, and he still doesn't care.
That's like really loud.
I know.
Yeah, but like
compressor.
But I think a lot of it is like I need to get a compressor or some kind of a preamp. I think where I have
plug in.
But I think a lot of that is like intelligence,
picking and choosing what you're going to trip on and what you're not going to trip on,
based on logical,
right?
Like almost like problem solving. Like he's thinking, okay, what are the logical options here? Like
those are the traits of like a really good leader, where they can see through the accident, right? So like this is going to be our out. So like learning to ride a motorcycle, you're taught like how to avoid hitting the side of a bus, right? So then like guys like Tim apply that in leadership roles, right? Where I'm going to see my out and I'm going to pick and choose what I'm going to let really fuck with me. Mm-hmm. Where like a parking ticket would probably destroy some people, right? Like that's fucked up. Like we get to pick and choose our battles. So
you know, I that's not to Pat. I think you're right. Tim is very intelligent, but with Tim, and tell me if I'm wrong, Tim, all the shit that goes on in his day, 99% of it, like it's not going to affect him the next day. He's just like, yeah, like I'm going to be okay tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like life goes on. Like I'll be happy tomorrow. Like it's all good. Like nothing ever like derails you.
So wait, speaking of derailment, what's up with you and Billy though?
I mean, he's supposedly coming, but yeah, that's a good question. I'm like very, very, very like that's the thing.
That's good when he comes.
Yeah, but it's always
he takes my place. I'm realizing why I woke up at 6 a.m. Detroit time, which is 3 a.m. here, and I've just been going since 3 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
So check this out. I posted.
Look at the timing.
Perfect.
There he is.
So I posted.
I'm gonna go. Love you guys. Gonna go crash out.
All right.
Actually, for once in my life, I am like fucking like.
That was great. It was great having you, Tim. Love you too.
Love you, T.
Just in time for Billy Boy to sit down in the chair. We were just talking about how Tim.
Hey, Tim, you better take this or I'll steal it because I have.
It's like, how could I not love him? Both of them. It's like, my mind is just such a...
You have a good heart.
But last night I was thinking of doing some, like, I was...
But those are your thoughts, not your heart.
Right.
You know?
So I posted a video last night. This is the video I posted. And I need you to start eating me. So this... I need you to start caring. So it got that... This video, caused me to get a community violation, and the video was taken down, and it won't go back up. Just because she's wearing a little bit.
Yeah, TikTok sucks, dude.
So, Billy, we're celebrating Gus's 1 year
sober birthday.
Congratulations, Gus.
Thanks,
I remember
brother.
years ago, you were coming in the meeting, and I asked you, like, are you an alcoholic? Are you sober or what? And you gave me some confusing answer. That was years ago.
I always do that.
Yeah.
Used to do that. I used to like give an answer that like I thought that they would be like, yeah, that's cool. Or I get that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, but no, it took time for me. Like it did, you know, I wasn't like a fucking bottom drunk, like low bottom drunk. You know what I mean? Like, I never was that.
So what can somebody do? Like, if they're feeling in a state where they're like, I want to sober up. I don't know how. I don't have people around me to take me to a facility. Like, what can somebody do? towards a road to recovery?
I mean, look, there's a lot of literature out there. AA has a very big program everywhere in the world. You know what I mean? Like, you can go to a meeting. It doesn't cost anything to go to a meeting. And anyone can access AA. It's not, there's no, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's where it starts.
Right.
Were you just taking a nap, Billy?
I didn't intend to take a nap, but I fell asleep. Sorry, man. This thing's all loose. I'm trying to figure out what the deal is.
So how does somebody deal with an alcoholic? Like,
Well, yeah.
In what way?
well, like, for example, myself growing up, my stepdad was like a raging alcoholic. And the way we dealt with him was we would just leave the house and let him have his episodes, right? But like someone's listening to this show right now who's dealing with an alcoholic in their family or a drug addict in their family, and they just want to see an out, right? They want to see this person get better.
It's difficult, man. There's like, the thing is, there's no right answer.
Right.
Because people's lives and their situations are all different. There's not really like a, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know.
Do you have to wait to hit rock bottom though to like emerge?
For me, it was an emotional bottom. Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't like I'd lost everything bottom.
Right.
Like I said, like 2 months before that, I was
So that's beautiful.
outside.
Huh? To have friends and family come around you and care about you that intensely, where they're like, jump
and like,
in.
I mean, look, my sobriety was all emotional and mental, but like when I went to go do a fourth step, which is like making amends to people, like I didn't have any to make because I was always good to people. Like I was never like, I didn't like fuck anybody over. I never like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was like, it was such an inside job for me. And I always was able to kind of, well, for the most part, be able to separate it and like go into my little dark hole and do what I do. But when I come out of it, like I'm, you know, besides like the squabbles Tim and Pat and I used to get into and with girlfriends and shit, like I never like did some fucked up shit.
So amends really wasn't an obstacle for you.
The what?
Amends, the amends part of
No, it was.
sobriety.
I mean, I made amends.
Right,
Like I made amends to my dad, to my mom, to my family, to a couple ex-girlfriends, but like I wasn't an abusive, like hurt somebody, fuck people over, conniving, like that was never me, you know. Always been like a good dude,
right?
Like no one will ever that I know of will be like, oh, yeah, he's a piece of shit. Like,
so what keeps you sober, like day to day? Like, is there a mantra? Is there like a desire in your heart?
I mean, I become very spiritually connected to where like the thought of going out and like doing what I was doing before and drinking, like it just sounds like not good.
I just want to do a quick little post. So we just started the podcast and Billy just got here and I've been really fucked up thinking maybe if you weren't going to come, which just lets me know how much I value you and how much I want you here. And I fell asleep at 9 a.m. just in my head about everything that went down and my part, and talked to my therapist a lot about it, and you know, my narcissism and my ego. We should probably get into a little bit of that, but I just want to say I'm glad you're here. And
thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
I was like tripping, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget
you
about
went hard,
war.
man. You went hard on me.
I did.
Yeah. I thought maybe you were trying to crucify me or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I just posted a video about you throwing people away and me keeping people on my page. And I think like part of the thing I was tripping on last night was like there is a part of me that's like feeling like you could just walk away and just leave it all behind and be fine with that. So I'm afraid of that. And I'm also like I'm willing to fight for, I feel like I'm over here fighting for the both of us, because I did have some feelings around like, you know, you going to Martha, you know, it felt kind of like I don't know. But I should have just not got involved, is the conclusion that I came to with my therapist. Like, what am I even... Like, I could have just said, hey, you should just hit up Rudy and not... You should have just hit up Rudy and not Martha. And then just left it. But instead, I, like, turned it into this whole other thing about, like, you... What's up?
Nothing, I'm listening.
What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking we just cut them off in the middle of whatever, but yeah, okay. So I'll just go over real quick. And
no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we were just talking about.
We're spectating. We're just.
This is just my standpoint, how I see it, and I'm probably going to piss you off again, which I don't want to do. But
maybe there's just a way that we can speak with love. Like what I just said is true, which is that I value you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry. I actually want to say I'm sorry for being like mean and like aggressive.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm sorry for being the same.
Yeah, but you weren't really mean. But what? Sorry, what were you gonna say? Oh, you were gonna piss me off just now.
I mean, if you want the whole shebang of what happened, I mean, I'll just tell you what it looks like from my head.
Yeah, no, I think that we do need to kind of go over it. We do need to go over it, and we do need to consider, like, this isn't like an excuse or anything, but as soon as like Martha gets involved, I become completely irrational.
Oh, really?
Well, you know that.
It seems like you were being a little... I couldn't...
Well, because as soon as Martha starts texting Veronica and me, I'm like, fuck, now Billy caused all this drama, and now I'm like upset with you, and I wanted you to see that. And I don't know. She just said that the family thing for me is a trigger. You know what I mean? It just kind of reminded me of like the Nate situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like I brought Nate in, and then he just caused so much problems for me. But that's because he was saying things to Martha, like what you said to Martha, like made me look a certain way. Mm-hmm. When the truth is that I told you I was fine with not doing that because I would rather have you have the house. Mm-hmm. But you didn't trust me because you have issues with like friends and stuff and not trusting people. So
let's hear what Billy has to say.
Yeah.
What happened?
Like I said, I'm just going to be assertive, candid, and honest, and I'm just going to give it to you from my head. Is like, why is Pat even involved in my personal life? That's how I look at it. Like, why is the long arm of the law, like, even, this is my home where I live. Like, why are you even involved? And that's the standpoint I was coming from, because previous to all this, I saw Martha as a landlord. You had nothing to do with any of it. The whole Charlie thing, the whole Carlos thing. You know, I got in a fight. There was just fucking... They were making, like, death threats. They were going to beat up your other guy that was staying here. And you're like, I don't want anything to do with any of that. And then suddenly, like, you're the boss, and you're telling me how to live my life at my house.
Did I tell you, though?
Yes.
What did I say?
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Here's how... Okay.
But I also think...
Okay, here we go.
But wait, back up. Just back up before you get crazy. I think you can answer that question on your own.
What question?
Why I'm involved.
Well, yeah, because you want Rudy to have a safe place to live, and she benefits you, and...
Right. Well, that's one reason. What's another reason?
I don't know.
Well, they're my parents.
Yeah.
And then there's also even a third reason. I mean, okay. I think if you think, like, if I...
No. To me, that doesn't make any sense, because I'm living here. things are nothing to do with Pat, and then suddenly Pat's calling all the shots.
Well, I want
about my life, where I live, and what I should do.
So I'll say it again. Like, I should have never gotten as involved as I did, and I'm sorry.
I appreciate that, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to show you how it looks from this perspective.
Right, but
like, okay, when I got involved with the Ridges, June 16th, when I got kicked out of my house in a way that I've never been, everything's changed. I don't feel like sponsor relationship. I don't feel like, we had a good relationship, but it's completely changed.
But also, didn't you text Martha
about
Rudy?
Yes, I did.
So that's why I got involved. Because then Martha texted me.
I do have to ask, why would you text Martha?
Because Martha's my landlord. We've been communicating this whole time, all through the shit show with the Placentias and Charlie. I've been telling her what's going on, what's going down, and then we have a new.
That's a serious situation.
Then we have a new roommate, and she's like, "I'm trying to assess the situation." Like, okay, Martha,
She was supposed to be 1 month. She was supposed to be. The arrangement was for 1 month.
Okay, well, I wasn't. No one told me exactly what was going on, so now. So I'm like, damn, this fucking new roommate is in my house. There's dudes coming and going all day long. One shows up.
That's not true.
Okay, there's two dudes. Okay, there's two dudes.
Let him finish the story.
I know, but let's just do this. Let's take it back a notch.
Why can't I just say it and then you can rebuttal? Let's
because I
let me have a thought.
I don't feel like you're coming from a place of love, wanting there to be a solution. And I think we both need to take a step back.
No, that's not it.
No, we asked him a question.
You're manipulating me again. I'm just trying to lay it out.
He's explaining. He's explaining.
He's exaggerating.
No, guys.
I always exaggerate when I talk.
My conversation with Billy,
yeah.
It's like I think he probably would have come to the conclusion you probably could have handled it with Rudy yourself. But
For sure.
You guys are not letting him even explain what's going on.
I'm giving you this, the initiation of the troubles. And yes, I exaggerate, and yes, I'm a motherfucker, okay? Everyone knows that. I'm an exaggerating motherfucker. That's how I talk. Okay. So I get pissed because I'm thinking, what the fuck is she thinking? Because there's a dude there earlier right? And then at midnight, another dude shows up.
Damn, Rudy.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay, there was one dude, and I'm like trying to think, is this cool with me? I don't know if this is cool. What's going on? So I'm not really clear on how I feel about it. But then at midnight, when someone else shows up, I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? I mean, okay, here I'm exaggerating. It's not a dude ranch, right? This is a home. I get pissed. I'm like, Rudy, what the fuck are you thinking? What are you doing? And then we had talked earlier, the day before. We had a long discussion about the whole thing. Me and Martha talked because your dad and Martha called me asking me what's going on. And I basically talked the way Billy talks. Well, she's here. I'm not sure what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. And then they made me this really good offer because they're thinking, oh, we found someone for the room. They told me they found somebody for the room. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they also told me we wanted to rent the house to a family. And I had to deny this family so that you could stay there and Brendan could stay there. And I said, well, okay. I mean, whatever you want to do, Martha. And then your dad, and I said, I'm thinking about renting the other room myself so that I can have a space for my daughter and an office and less people in the house, right? Because the more people, the more chaos. And your dad pipes in. He's like, all right, we'll do it half price. I'm like, oh, well, shit, I can't refuse that. And that's basically the conversation I had.
Please, say that again.
I was just trying to ask you why you texted about Rudy. Because we've gone...
I texted him.
It's what are we talking about? There's only one.
Okay, let me think.
But
why?
that's the root. That's the one thing that happened.
I'm trying to answer it.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't know about Rudy. We were discussing Rudy, and then I was discussing it also with Martha because they don't know about Rudy either. And I'm like, well, Pat wants her to stay here, and she's newly sober, and I'll blah, blah, blah. I don't know if she has money for rent. Like, just figuring out roommate shit. What was the question?
Why'd you text Martha about Rudy?
Because I got pissed when she brought the second guy at midnight, and I'm like,
why didn't you talk to her?
did I text her that night?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't have texted her at midnight.
Yes,
I text Pat.
No, you did though, because Martha texted.
Maybe
Veronica.
the next day I texted her.
No, Veronica.
I don't remember.
You got a text from Martha that night, right?
I just think in life,
Also, they were away for Taylor's birthday on like a.
if you're
No, but you got a text from Martha that night.
you should be able to deal with Rudy.
Yeah.
Rudy's like a little.
She got
Yeah. But here's the situation: is I thought, okay, roommates. I mean, she's a roommate, so she has every right to do whatever the fuck she wants, right?
Yeah,
So I'm thinking I can't just go tell her how to.
roommates don't have the right to do whatever they want. You're in a group setting.
Well, I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to approach her the next day about this shit. It pissed me off. I thought that was like overstepping boundaries, right?
But so that's the thing.
So, and we were talking, and I'm like, Pat, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't remember exactly. Okay, so I dealt with it wrong. I should have went to Rudy and the dude and said, hey, this isn't cool. I didn't.
But
I text him, and I think I might have text Martha, like, this is fucked up,
So I'm just wondering if you can be fully honest with yourself about why you got so mad. Because I think that's like the key to discovering one of the reasons that this got so played out.
Why?
of
Because
pocket.
I didn't want her there in the first place. And I just worked out something the previous day.
But didn't you like when Rudy?
I like Rudy. I think she's great. I love Rudy. She's a very cool kid, right? It's not a character assassination here. It's they made me a good deal to have a peaceful, safe house that I've been working really hard for. I even got in a fight. I've been dealing with all this shit. And they said, yeah, we'll rent you the room. And I thought, great. One less person to deal with in my house. This is going to be a great, safe place. I can really fix it up, have my daughter here. I'm safe because I've had no safe place for years, really, because Angela was a fucking crazy bitch for 2 years. Blah, 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 blah. What was the question?
Well, I'm sort of understanding a little bit more. You're just going like, you were really excited to have that free, and now that you're in.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I really only want to be here if I can have it rent free. And this has been,
No, not rent.
If I can have that room vacant.
But here's the problem. I feel like when we talk, like, I don't know what's going on with you right now, but like I feel like you're not like hearing me, you're not listening to me, or maybe you're not trusting me, or there's other things happening.
All right, we'll spell it out then.
Well, the last thing we talked about was let's get you this room for your daughter. That's what's most important.
Yeah, that was after like an hour of you fighting for Rudy to be there.
Well, I wasn't really
and then you brought Wickham in too, and I'm like, oh, okay, Pat wants to do this thing.
Well, here's the danger.
It's not my house; it's his parents.
I feel like you're in a weird headspace right now, like a kind of combative, angry, resentful headspace.
No.
Okay, cool. So, I don't. Like, we just like the danger in like exaggerating and over, like there's a danger in doing that because like I think what we need to be doing is underplaying each other's things so that we can hear each other. And when you over exaggerate like what I was saying, it makes it seem like I was telling you.
I'm not over exaggerating what you were saying. We talked heatedly. You hung up on me. That's how heated it was. You hung up on me.
Yeah, I was a fucking dick.
And you were like speaking in an argumentative tone about the whole situation, and you kept bringing in like my character and what you did for me, and did I ever think of you? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is my house. I live here. No, I wasn't really thinking what Pat wants me to do at my house.
Right.
I just not something.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for that. Like, again.
Okay, you don't have to keep saying you're sorry. I know.
But we resolved it on that call.
I don't know if that's really true, because you just told me yesterday when you called me again, no, we're talking again about the same thing. That's what friends do.
Well,
so no, it wasn't completely resolved, but we came to a agreeable end at the end of the conversation.
Which was that Rudy would be there until she found a place, and you would have that other room
after she leaves,
because that's what makes most sense.
Yes.
Right. And then we got a text from Martha.
Yes. So I guess I talked to Martha the next day, and she said, what's going on? And I just told her, well, I had this conversation with Pat, and then he was talking about he wants Wickham there too, and I don't really know what's going on, and I'm not sure of where I stand. And
but
I did not badmouth you. I talked about the conversation we had. I talked about, now I'm not really sure where I stand. You know, I was trying.
But you were sure, because I told you where you stood. I said,
no, not really, because Pat suddenly is telling me, when it's always been Martha and Billy. Now it's Pat, so I'm not sure.
But I'm only telling you what my opinion is.
Well, I don't think, to me, that's not true, because when you tell your dad you want something, it happens.
Maybe.
Well, it seems like every time you've done that I've seen.
I probably could.
You hold a large power position in the family.
For sure. And I could, if I really wanted to, make something happen. But I told you that I want what's best for you and your daughter. And I've always wanted that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Dude, and that's my heart.
No, that's your heart.
Yeah, I know, but that's the problem. This is where the problem lies. Is for some reason I sense, after all that we've been through, you're still looking at me with this
Yeah, because you came at me hard, and I'm not really sure what.
Well, because you
came at me hard 3 days in a row.
Well,
and you kept bringing my character in, and who I am, and I don't give a shit about Rudy on the streets, and I don't give a shit about helping an alcoholic and all this stuff. And I'm thinking,
well, I'm asking.
I do, but my experience of bringing alcoholics home way back in the beginning, it doesn't help them, and it definitely fucks up my life. Mm-hmm. When you bring them into your house, it doesn't really help them. They just take advantage. It makes it too easy for them, and it doesn't help them really. And they fucking just create chaos, and they don't appreciate shit.
Yeah.
I tried it several times.
Well, that's a conversation to have. But I'm sort of checking with you.
So what
I'm also confused because you like Rudy, you care about Rudy, you wanted her to work for you. And I feel like there's also this other element that you're maybe not seeing of maybe you were more angry about her having guys over, and there was something else going on with that too, a little bit maybe.
I think it would piss me off if it was a chick too, because it's not a house like this. You can hear everything, every word, every time, everything.
But do you think it would have been as pissed
No,
off
because
as...
dudes are scary. Chicks aren't as scary as dudes. I don't even want them knowing my code.
So you don't think it had anything to do with you being jealous or
kind of? No, I don't think so. No.
It just seemed like a little bit of an extreme reaction based on everything you've been through at that house and just you being, like you said earlier, just a motherfucker.
Maybe it was an extreme reaction, but everything I've been through at that house finally started settling down.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, this might actually work. And then bam, there's a new thing. And I'm like, and now Pat's behind it, and Pat has a lot of power. So I don't really know. Again, now is it going to be? Is my duration of my stay at this house? Is it always going to be the next fucking thing? That's where I'm coming at, because I'm not you. I don't know.
But when I tell you clearly, I want you to have that house and that other room for summer, because that's what's
I really appreciate that. It really touches my heart.
No, but Billy, I said that to you that night.
Yeah.
And we established the fact that you didn't trust me because you don't have friends and trust, and you don't know what that looks like. And I think that that's I'm not trying to call out your character or anything, but like I just posted a video about like you saying how you throw people away.
I throw people away. I don't trust anybody, not even my mom and my dad.
Yeah. So, and me saying I keep people. So I'm trying to keep everyone taken care. I'm trying to figure out a way to love everyone.
That's great. But also people say one thing and then a week later they say something else.
Not your friends. And I believe that I should have earned your trust by now. And the fact that I didn't is like hurts me like a lot.
Well, that's not true, and you shouldn't be hurt because I wouldn't be here.
No, I know, and I'm glad.
Everything we've been through, I'm like, oh, fuck, Pat's a good guy. We'll work it out. Normally, I'd just be like, what the fuck? You know, I would either move or whatever. I'd just be like, I'm not going to deal with this shit. But I learned in AA and over time that if I want to have relationships and a good life, step 8, I need to have the best possible relationship with all humans. And it may seem like, oh my God, how fucking much work is it to have a good relationship with somebody?
Yeah,
this is me. This is me, not Pat. You're a social butterfly, have lots of friends. This is Billy. No, fuck off. This is Billy, okay? You know what? If you're going to be whatever, fuck off, and that's wrong.
I like right now, like I think what I need to do is I need to like put myself in your shoes.
Can I say something? Because I've been noticing you guys back and forth, and we spoke about this a little bit the other day. Billy, the reason why you've been living here, now you're living at Martha's house, is because it's convenient. It's probably cheaper, right? And it's a way for you to grow your life and continue to have a place and
reason
and afford
I'm
it. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
And because you can go do that by yourself. If you wanted to go get a house by yourself, you can go do that, right? And Pat likes. Where's Pat? Oh, and Pat likes the situation with you because he does care about you, but he's also an alpha male who likes to control people around him, and he likes to the reason I told him this the other day, so I'm not saying anything off the wall. It's very interesting how his sponsor is like a complete opposite of him and very calm, because Pat doesn't want somebody who's going to challenge him. He doesn't. He wants to manipulate it. He wants to make sure it goes his way in his head, and that's what he works on every day. But the matter of the fact is, he wants to keep you and Wickham and Rudy all under his control.
Yeah, I see that clearly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, the way to, like, when you guys were at Pride Time, you were doing your own thing, like, you guys had a completely different relationship. 100%. Like, I see that even. You know?
Yeah.
Now that it's like mixing business and friendships, right? That's what happens. This is exactly what happens. You know? You have somebody who has a little more power and they want to like hold some shit over your head. I'm sure he has before, you know what I mean? And like you feel like, well, I have this like really good deal and really good thing going on, and I don't want to like ruin that. And you know, you're getting comfortable in this house, but the truth of the matter is, like, you can go fucking do your own thing, get your own house, and not have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah. And,
right,
and I debate that every time we have one of these arguments. Maybe I should just get out.
That's it.
But
it's your fault and it's Pat's fault. There's not one or the other who's more at fault.
Are you kidding me? You just painted like the worst possible picture of me.
To you.
Talking to the mic?
To you, because...
Can you talking to the mic?
Insane. Thanks a lot, Gus.
No, I mean, I'm being honest, bro.
Painted like the worst possible picture of me, like... If I was living completely by all my character defects as my father, which I've spent 15 years not to do, thanks a lot. That was pretty fucked up.
No, it wasn't fucked up.
No, I think it was.
No, you just don't want to look at it because you know it's true.
Some of it is,
and even Greg was like, "Yeah,
no, yeah, some of it is,
yeah."
But I'm fine with Wickham not living there. I'm just trying to help Wickham.
No, and that's the first thing I said.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Billy not living there. My dad is the one who wanted him to be there because my dad's the master manipulator. I'm actually totally, and the reason that I wanted Billy to be my sponsor isn't so I could control and manipulate him. Are you fucking insane?
No, I'm not.
Let me finish, dude. Please.
You just asked a question.
Okay, I'm sorry. You actually think that I was like, oh wow, this guy is like quiet and calm. I'm going to ask him to sponsor me so that I could control him?
Yes.
Well, that's fucked up, and I resent the fact that you think that, because that's pretty low of you to think
it's
that
not
way
low
of me. The reason that I wanted Billy to be my sponsor is because he embodied a certain honesty and humility that I aspire to have.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay.
But you asked me my opinion, and I just think...
And I really think that it's fucked up that you're painting that kind of a picture of me.
I'm not painting a picture, Pat. I'm giving you my opinion.
Okay, well, I think it's really fucked up that that's your opinion.
And by the way, like, you're looking at it from a place of painting a bad picture about you. You know this. You know that you're an alpha male. You don't like to be challenged. You butt heads with alpha male. So you pick the complete opposite of you as a sponsor. That's all I said.
I just liked his share and his honesty, and I think that he works a real fucking program, and it's all about humility.
Absolutely.
And that's what I liked.
Yeah, but like you thought that I was saying that in a negative tone, and it's not. That's who you are. I'm the same. Like, the reason why Jason and I butt heads all the fucking time is because of that exact reason. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that about him.
Well, and
you guys do complement each other very well, because you have what Pat does and Pat has what you don't.
Yes.
You know, so it wasn't like coming from a place of like trying to put you in a bad light, Pat.
No, I see that. If I could, I would do the same thing. We all want to do that. We all want to control our environment and the people in it.
Of course.
Yeah, but I also want to have... I want him to be happy.
For sure you do.
Like... And I don't want to just have him like under my control. I want to collaborate with him because I think he's valuable and he has a lot to offer. It's not, and you have to say the other part.
I am.
No, you didn't. You said I chose him so I could manipulate him.
No, I didn't.
You said all the bad parts.
No, I didn't, Pat. That's what you heard.
Well, we have it recorded.
I started off by saying, what I said was, Pat loves all these people around him and he wants to help them, but he also likes to control. He likes to be in control. You do.
Well,
I do.
So does everyone.
No, he doesn't want to be in control.
Yeah,
I do, but I just don't. I don't have that power position.
So there's nothing wrong with what I said. Like, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but there's another side to that coin that you didn't say.
What was this other side?
That I value him. And that
Dude,
I aspire...
Didn't I say that?
Well, no,
really?
that I aspire... That there are other reasons also why I like working with him. And I don't need Wickham to live in a place that I can like... I don't need Billy to live in a place where I can like... I just wanted to help him. Because he had no place to stay. And me and Veronica felt bad that he got kicked out of his house. I didn't let him live here so I could control him.
What I said was...
And then my dad asked him to live at that house.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Do you want to do that? That's great. Like, do you really think that this was some master manipulation on my part? Like,
no, I don't think that. But, okay, so since we're putting Pat on the hot seat here, here's my take on this. So yes, Pat is an alpha male, and if he can, he will try to control things. But at the same time, he's very generous.
Very.
And he comes around and checks himself where he's been wrong and works it out with people. And, he's got a good heart. But he's also like a lot. He's a lot with kind of relentless on, when he wants something, he's relentless.
That's control.
And manipulative and smart, like all of us. But he's also a good guy. So there's both there. So that's the other part.
And I like, when we started talking on the phone, like I started going the wrong direction. When I started asking you, like, do you see how helping Rudy is also helping me? That was like the wrong direction to be going in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
that's
it
where I
just seemed
fucked
odd
up.
to me. It seemed odd. Like, well, why are you bringing that?
Because that's where I fucked up. I'm saying right now, I'm sorry for doing that. And I fucked up because that was ego. That was like, and I talked about it with my therapist and like figured it all out. What I should have said was, Billy, don't you, like, wouldn't you want what's best for, what do you think we can do to help Rudy in this situation? Or something like that. Like, something along the lines of like, maybe you could ask her for them to leave and then just like dipped out and not had any investment in what the results were going to be. You know what I'm saying? I should have just said that and then left it.
Oh, what's
And
best
not-
for Rudy? Well, then I could have thought about it because that's a whole discussion in itself.
And that's really what I was like wanting to do. But my ego made it about me. And all I wanted was like a little bit of like, oh, really? I didn't realize that was helping you. I just wanted like a little bit of like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like I do care a little bit about what you want. And it was just like, but that's stupid.
But I do care about what you want.
But it just
then
became
I'm thinking,
a
this
fight.
is my home where I live.
Yeah.
What you want is cool, but I don't know if this.
Not anywhere near as important as that.
Can I
And
ask
that
you,
was the
Greg, from an outside perspective, what do you think's going on here? Are we just bullshitting
But there's
each
just
other?
one very important fact that I feel like keeps getting missed. Mm-hmm. What was the resolution at the end of our conversation that night?
The resolution was, Pat said, oh, now that I see you're talking about your daughter and stuff, yes, of course, that's most important is you having a good, safe place for you and your daughter. Something to that effect. And that really made me feel good and touched my heart. And then the next day we had a conversation again about it all. And he told me how I do this triangulation, like manipulative thing as a power play. And I also appreciated that because, yeah, I do something like that maybe. And I want to look into that more because, you know, I don't want to be a motherfucker. And I almost cried because my whole life I've been alone. I'm talking from like a little kid, right? So for me to accept friends and think that people actually have my back is a very touching and bizarre and hard to believe situation because I feel like I'm in here alone, and that's why I say, fuck you, I'm going to take my marbles and leave because I feel like it's just me.
And there's something like happening here that's like magical and special, but I see you. I see that there's like there's a large part of you that's like continuing to push me away. But I mean, you're here. So there's also another part of you that's like wants to accept my like love and friendship.
That's my instinct, but
and I'm trying to fight that and be like close to him and like work through this and like let him know that I am his friend. Like the first thing I said when you came here was like, this has been affecting me so much. I want you. I care about you. I value you. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But then but then when we start talking about it, it's like there's still obviously like some.
Look, what
here's the thing. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
And Pat, you actually said this in the meeting. Pat, we all know Pat's heart is 100% whole and bright and beautiful. He gets inside his head and does some fucked up shit sometimes, like you said in the meeting, jumping into the middle of this and trying to control it, right?
No, I literally said in the meeting that I should not have tried to fix the problem with you and Rudy.
Exactly.
But I did. Craig posted into the primetime group. He said, when we see a conflict happening, we should step away from it. He just posted this in the primetime group.
Yeah.
Like,
today, this morning was perfect.
Yeah, you read that.
He sends his little...
You saw that.
I didn't see the Facebook one, but he sends out the daily reflection from Emmett Fox and then writes a little bit. And it was like...
Sends it out to where?
To me and a bunch of other people.
So you're on the group checks still?
Yeah.
Because you've said multiple times that you're like outcast.
Oh, I'm on his group text, but I'm not on the Facebook group.
No, but I just want to illustrate like how you're still a part of that, but you've said multiple times that you're no longer a part of any of those people's lives.
Well, I'm not. He's just been sending me this for years.
Right.
So I read it in the morning.
Yeah, but maybe you still are.
So
where you guys at now?
So hold on. So I didn't finish. So Pat jumped in and controlled it, or tried to control it, and he knows he shouldn't have. And it came back to haunt him. Like, he was up till fucking 9 a.m, like, thinking about this. Whereas if he would have like stepped back, it wouldn't have. He wouldn't be in that position. But he cares so much about you. That's why he was up, and that's why he's doing this, and that's why he's trying to fix it, because he's like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, and here's what happened, but I don't want to let that go.
But I want to learn to lose from, I want this bad experience to be something that we can take away. Like, I want us both, like, you know how hard it is for me to see that I shouldn't try to help my friends resolve their issues?
Yeah, dude, I'm the same.
Like, that is like... For me to even say that I shouldn't be doing that when I was raised by a father who he made it my responsibility to fix their marriage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He made it my responsibility. You're going to get me and your mom back together. So I have it. It's in my blood to go, oh, Rudy and Billy, problem. Let's fix it. And like we did. I got him on a 3-way the next day, and like we worked it all out. Yeah. And like they're watching a movie, and I asked you, I said, why are you watching a movie with Rudy? And you're like, I'm just, what'd you say? I'm tolerating her, or some like really mean shit that was like, should have only hurt her, but for some reason it hurt me because like, I don't like fully believe you. And if that is the truth, something changed in you, made dramatically as far as how you see her, like your love for her and your caring for her, like has completely evaporated for some weird reason. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to see if we could explore.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you said, I love Rudy, she's great, but then you went and texted Martha after a couple days.
No, but not only that, but he's like, I'm tolerating her.
Was it the two dudes?
No, like they watched a movie together the past 2 nights. Rudy's like, do you want to watch a movie? Like Rudy and Billy are like, seemingly they were like friends. Like, I feel like right away you were like wanting her to work for you. So I don't know what happened with all that. But
okay, well the truth is I barely know Rudy. So to say that I like am really good friends or
no,
love
I never
her,
said you're really good friends. I said you were.
I like Rudy.
Right.
I do.
So then what does that mean when you say you're tolerating her?
I'm tolerating her in my space.
So it's more of like a possessive, I don't want anybody in my shit.
Yeah.
This is my thing.
It's not her.
I don't care about other people.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah, you only care about yourself in that house.
Well, not necessarily only care about myself, and I do want to help, but that's a whole nother conversation. What really helps...
No, Billy, just be honest. You want the house to yourself, and you don't want to
create a safe harbor there for me, my kid.
That's it. Yeah, that's the truth. That's okay.
And then, if there's something else, maybe. But I want to be really careful about what I introduce to that place.
Yeah. And that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You want your own little spot.
So I guess one way of putting it is, your love for your daughter outweighs your desire to even want to be like nice or help Rudy.
I am being nice to Rudy.
Well, no, but you're tolerating it.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah. So I'm trying to put it like in a clear, like your love and your desire to want to. For your daughter and your family outweighs anything as it relates to Rudy, which is fair.
Yeah, and that's okay.
I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Look at it this way. If it meant my daughter's life and anybody in here, I would kill them. Right. Without thinking.
Well, yeah, obvious. Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like Rudy's even just the smallest little threat, or like, and you're like, your desire to help.
She's not a small threat because she's attached to you, which is a big threat.
Oh shit.
Right.
It was a good therapy session.
But like that's kind of heavy though. Like that you're.
It's not Rudy. She's nothing. It's you behind Rudy that's the problem.
So it could have been Rudy. It could have been anyone else.
So, but that just goes back to the same thing about him still not trusting me. And after all we've been through, Billy still sees me as someone who's going to like potentially like ruin his life or something.
No, I see it as a potential problem. I don't think you're going to ruin my life. But as we see, there's a whole shitload of like an avalanche of drama anytime anything happens.
True.
And so it threatens our relationship. Rudy threatens our relationship. Mm-hmm. And threatens the peace of the house. And it's just a big deal. So it's not that the love for Rudy, it's the logical analysis of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking out for Billy.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
that's it.
Human nature of survival, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
And Rudy
So at
might
one
work
point,
out
Pat's
great.
going to look out for Pat.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
This
but
is what
Pat,
I'm doing.
Pat looking out for Pat means not jumping in the fire.
Or telling everybody to go fuck themselves.
Wait, what?
Or telling everybody to go fuck themselves, right? Like,
Yeah.
you and Rudy figure your shit out. Actually, I don't want anyone at my parents' house. You guys just...
Well, but so I
he
think
does
that
that.
I think
Right.
that. Well, I actually think this is a really important analogy, like to just illustrate how we're different, right? Yeah, I'm looking out for me, but I'm a keeper of all my friends and people in my community. He's looking out for me, but he's like a thrower away. So I'm like, yeah, let's take care of me, but also how can we have the best relationship with all the people in my... Is there a way where we can all coexist? Maybe there's not. Like, maybe there's not a way that Wickham and Rudy could live in that house. And it sounds like there isn't. And I respect that. And I'm like, you're probably right. What the fuck are we even doing?
Yeah.
And if we just talk about it. But Billy, you're so afraid.
No, you could have talked to me very calmly from the beginning, logically, and not bring my character or what you did for me into the situation.
Yeah. And that's where I fucked up.
And so we did it, and we've talked now for the fourth time, and Rudy's there, and I'm cool. And she's cool, and she understands she's got to be like a good roommate.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a try. Maybe she'll be there for 10 years. I don't know.
The out-of-pocketness and why Pat, I think, he blew up after is the fact that you texted Martha.
Yeah.
Which I don't think any of us still understand why and why. Here's the thing. I told this to Pat yesterday. Like, she's involved in so much shit. And she's a woman who's very successful and has a lot of money. And from what I've heard, has been fucked over by a lot of people as it relates to money. And she wants to help people, but there's also like a fucking little squirrel's grabbing her nut, right? Oh, I want a little piece, and let me do this. And there's like everyone coming and involving her in those issues. Like,
what I don't think any of you understand is me and Martha's relationship. Martha comes to me and asks me questions and what's going on and what should I do and what do you think? She asks me. Mm-hmm. And we've been communicating ever since I moved in there. I don't like go out of my way really until we establish this relationship to bother her. And now that you told me not to, so I tried.
That's just more weird manipulation and triangulation from my dad.
But I'm afraid to say anything to her now because it's going to paint you in a bad picture, which I don't want to do.
No.
Well, I don't.
Well, I don't. It's just
trying to navigate the stormy sea.
But here's the thing, dude. I think if we can understand that life and relationships and family, it's never as simple as like you're making it seem. Like, my life is the way it is because I've sacrificed so much to play ball with all this weird family bullshit. So there are benefits, but there's also like some shit. and other people we have to consider. And
yeah.
So it's like, I think Billy's totally not used to that, and he has no idea what that's like, and he doesn't understand that it's not as simple as like there being one king, because he keeps using these terms like you're the king or she's the king. It's like, no, like we're all like a family. Everyone has feelings, and we need to all communicate to figure out, like, we're literally going to open a sober living.
Yeah.
Because we're able to like respect each other and communicate and figure out what each person needs. And Martha's going to help. And Gus is going to be the middleman. And there's just all this weird things between me and Martha. And it's just like,
get ready, Gus. But you guys have a long relationship, right? How long have you guys known each other?
A long time.
But what kind of word of advice would you have for Gus going into this thing?
Well, I
knowing
think
what
he
you know?
knows the situation way better than I do, so he probably would give me all the advice.
Yeah, but the thing is too, like, Pat and I are both fearless motherfuckers when it comes to like, we're gonna go get this and we're gonna figure it out. And I don't like pussyfoot around. Like, if Pat and I have a problem, we're gonna sit down and talk about it. Well, and if Martha and I have a problem, we're gonna sit down and talk about it. And like, I don't know. It's like kind of hard to explain.
No,
like, we're both alpha.
I don't really pussyfoot either. That's why I tell Martha,
I'm not
this
saying
is
you
how
do.
it is.
I'm
this
not
is how
saying.
Pat's acting. This is the situation. And
okay, so
got me in a lot of trouble.
Let me ask you a question. This is what it really all comes down to.
Pussyfoot. What kind of word is that?
Well, I don't think he was saying that you.
I didn't say you
do
were
that. I think he's just saying.
Like, he asked,
no,
like, our
he's
relationship.
not saying I don't do that. I'm just saying that's what got me in trouble.
But you would just throw me away.
No, Pat.
Oh.
I'm never going to throw you away until you make it real clear that that's what you want me to do.
Okay.
But that's never going to happen.
Okay, then great. Then I have a friend for a long time.
But like, this is kind of new for you.
Absolutely. I don't come from a family.
So I think this is big.
Especially if
this is like really, really, really powerful and like beautiful. And it was hard to get here. And I feel like my ego is just mangled right now. It's just like it's like it has like scoliosis. It's like still there, but it's like sideways, and like, yo, you're like fucked up, and you are like alpha and narcissist, and like, but at the same time, I'm like, fuck, like, there's no other way to lead. Well, there's other ways to lead, but you need a certain degree of that to accomplish greatness and lead.
Yeah.
But I could have done it with a calm, peaceful heart the way I'm doing it now. But instead, I was like, do you see how you kicking Rudy out? Like, she would have just ended up on my couch. That's what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's like the situation you're in. You know, and then like the way I was trying to get you to see that was like in a way that was like threatening your like family situation and what you want, and we just didn't communicate. I did not communicate well. I don't really remember exactly what happened or how it went down, but
the truth is too, if you don't come at me hard, I'm not going to budge. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
The only reason this has worked out is because you came at me hard.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Huh.
I would have been like, no.
Wow. So you're saying that I did need to...
You accomplished your goal by being relentless, yes.
Huh. But what I'm saying is, if I would have had a softer tone, I think we could have avoided...
Oh, probably, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And if I hadn't had so much ego in how I was asking for you to like value me, then it wouldn't have turned into what it turned into.
It's possible.
Sometimes you just gotta let Pat bump gums and then let him chill out and come back the next day.
Yeah, but it's just like it's just Rudy just is a new boy crazy. She fucked up, dude. And I feel like I kept saying that too.
Did you tell her, like, did anybody tell her not to do that?
Not before she did it. After
okay, well then it's not her fault. Like, if I was 24 and you said go live at this house, I'd have so many. It'd be worse.
1 a.m, 1 at midnight.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm like, do I really want this person in my house?
It's not your house, Billy. That's where the disconnect is.
Martha's house.
Yeah, but if Martha wants to put someone else in there, what you should have done.
She didn't want to put her in there.
Pat did.
Martha is still against it. Martha's
Martha.
still against it. I had to convince her, okay, we've been through all this shit. Let's just let it lie and see how it goes. Mm-hmm. Even today, she came to the house. I had to tell her that because Pat wants me to. So that's where we're at. And it's not Rudy's
that Pat
character.
Wants you to
yes,
do
it is. It's because Pat wants me to.
It shouldn't be that.
Thank you, guys.
It should be you want to do that.
Like
I don't.
That's the problem. That's what it is.
Well, then don't do it, dog. Like I'm
too
out.
late. Too late.
I gotta be out though. But you keep doing this thing where you're putting it all on me, and it's like all I wanted to do was like help you see the full picture. It's not as simple as you and Martha. There's other people involved. Consider that, and let's all make a decision together as friends, as people who care about each other. Now, if you don't want her there, I am so fucking done with this.
Here's the thing.
Get her the fuck out already.
No, I'm not doing that to her.
Okay, but don't put it all on me if you don't do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that's like not fair either. All I'm trying to do...
At this point, I want to give Rudy a chance to be a step up. We'll see what happens.
Now we're talking.
There you go.
Now we're talking. I fuck with that. That's dope, dude. And if you want to kick her out on the street, that's on you.
Kick her on the street.
No, I'm saying, or if you want to kick her out onto my couch, that's cool. That's on you. It would kind of be a bummer, but I don't want to let that have as much power as I let it have 2 days ago.
Yeah,
the power.
That's what the worst.
I was having that be like an indicator that like you're like, no, I don't care. Like it's just me. It's only all about me. This is my house. This is what I want. Fuck Pat. Fuck Rudy. Like that was like. And it's not that simple. Like, you know, like you have like a fucking daughter and a family, and like she's newly sober, and it's just like there's more going on than that. I'm trying to see your side of it, you know?
I just explained my side of it though.
Yeah, and I'm reiterating what you explained. About like,
okay, I'm not like you, Pat. I'm not, for one, I don't have this to bring people in and help.
Well, actually you do now. That's the crazy part.
It's not mine.
No, I know, but this isn't really mine either, bro.
I know.
So that's funny how you just said that. And I don't mean to be like whatever, but like because of me, you actually do have that now.
Maybe, yeah.
And I'm stoked. Let's be stoked together, and let's do what's best for Rudy and you.
And we're doing it. And look, it kind of warms my heart in a way that you would fight so hard for Rudy. I know she benefits you,
but it's not even that though. Like,
and he would do the same for you.
No, but she does benefit you.
Yeah, but she'll benefit me in her car too.
Also.
And on my couch.
You keep saying she's going to be on the street. I mean, she's been surviving with friends and stuff for a while. And She has an income now. She could probably rent a place. So I'm not... And...
Yeah.
you've opened me up a little bit. And so I'm still in transition. Like I'm not even moved into that place. So I'm still just kind of blowing in the wind. That feels like I'm not really established, but okay, it's good. And it's nice having Rudy there if she's going to not bring people over and blah, 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 and make a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. She's a very sweet.
I mean, it's funny how that's literally as simple as this needs to be.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
That's all, Billy, you would have needed to do is wake up the next day and be like, look, I have this house for me and my daughter. I'm trying to have it be really peaceful. Would you mind like, just being cognitive of where I'm at?
You're absolutely right. But I didn't know. I thought she had as much standing at that place as I did, and that I didn't realize I'm the kind of the boss of the house. He helped me see that, okay, I'm kind of the boss of the house. So I'm going to make sure. But I didn't know I had that power or position or whatever. And so I handled it wrong.
Well, you did, because
I handled
you
it
texted
wrong.
Martha.
Pat got mad. Everybody got mad. We learned a lot.
Yeah.
And now I have a better idea of where I stand and how I need to act.
Yeah. And like, you're a wonderful person, and you are, dude.
Really, no.
You are. You're a great fucking person.
Well,
You're
hold on,
amazing.
hold on a
let me
second.
finish. You just need to. It just sounds like to me like you felt threatened, and you thought that Pat could take it all away, and so you protected yourself. You protected, what you have. Where it just would have been like, hey, Rudy, can you maybe not have like guys all over the time? And like, none of this would have happened. Nothing.
So hurt people, right?
Yeah.
So he's been hurt by people his whole life. He's never had real friends, and he just said how his parents abandoned him. So he felt threatened.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck you, Pat, right? Whereas you have a different situation. Like, that's why Gus can like yell at me and we can be friends like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've always been worried about with us, because I knew eventually it was going to come to this. And I've always been afraid that when it did, you were going to turn around and walk out on me.
This is the common theme, though, of every episode on the Learning to Lose podcast, is how he's about to walk away from you.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what he does.
So you should just let him.
But hold up. That's also my biggest fear, is a fear of abandonment.
But he's here.
I know, and we're working through it, and we're growing together, and that's fucking like beautiful.
Right.
So like, that's kind of the core. Like, that's the work I want to do at Graceland. Like, this is the work I want to do at Graceland for newcomers and alcoholics. And you only can do it through relationship. God reveals himself through our connections to other human beings.
Yeah.
So the only way this is possible is by having a relationship and seeing these fears and how we react to each other, and him not actually hearing me or believing me when I said, even though it warmed your heart, you woke up the next morning and you were like still kind of afraid that that you weren't going to be able to reason with me.
I just thought you're going to try to get what you want.
But what I want is for you to be okay and happy. And I don't even think that I have that much control over that. And I don't really want that much control over that. But it would be nice to know that my friends think I have their best interests in mind.
Billy, what you just said, like, I guess I'm not really understanding. Like, what you just said a second ago, you're like, you're afraid that he was going to do what?
Get what he wants.
What he wants is your best interest. You know that, right?
Well, the first conversation, it didn't sound like that. He's like, well, let's move Wickham in there. Let's get Brenda now. You know, he switched the whole script on me.
Those were ideas I had.
Well, in my head, I'm like, oh, Pat has an idea that he's going to go for here, and he has the power, so.
But I never said I was like dead set on doing that.
And do you think that even if he did do that, that it put you in any kind of like distress or harm, that he would let it happen? Like, if Wickham came home drunk and Rudy fucked up with two guys, and like you called Pat, dude, I can't live this way. You would be like, all right, you guys got to bounce.
Yeah. If she fucks up and gets drunk or doesn't pay the rent, then she's got to go.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Not even paying rent. That's not, Pat doesn't give a fuck about the paying rent part.
Well,
like,
Martha does.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, if Pat knew that you were in actual real harm or danger, do you think that he would allow it to go on?
No.
Okay. There you go.
If he was, we make it sound simple, if he was aware and conscious that it was causing me harm, but if it's benefiting him and he's getting what he wants, he may think in his mind, oh, just suck it up, Billy, or whatever. You know, it's not, you don't always see the other person's perspective, right?
And so that's the issue right there.
And so it gets
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Billy seems like Billy doesn't really trust your motives.
Yeah, or
him.
just me in general, or anyone for that matter. That just takes.
I don't know about anyone.
That's what we spoke about in the very beginning.
So, even my own mother fucked me over.
Yeah.
She used my name. She had like 5 aliases when she died. I couldn't even claim her belongings.
So this is the core.
I come from like a criminal fucking...
Of Billy. Yeah. And I think that through developing trust within me, he can start trusting you and maybe Rudy. And then he can start to build that back up in him, hopefully.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. And or maybe not. I'm still afraid people are going to abandon me.
Me too.
It doesn't really happen.
Me too. Yeah.
Or I guess it does happen. And every time it happens, it's like, it reinforces that, but then they come back, like Rudy abandoned me. Wickham abandoned me.
Yeah. Well,
No, I'm just saying.
You grind gears, right? So some people, it's like
he said I grind gears.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, he said I'm a lot. Yeah, but you know what? Like that a lot allows us to like do what we're doing right now, and allows us to have. I mean, dude, like. Yeah, I think that. I mean, I haven't.
Yeah, because Pat is like the last person.
What? There's a bell curve. The normal people are up here on the top, and it goes down, and there's like less and less, and then there's outliers. I think you and Veronica are like outliers, because for her to live with you and you to like, you guys are definitely way down here on the bell curve. So it's a lot.
Or maybe she just like gets like high so much that she just like is numb to my shit.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's part of it.
She just figured out how to like tune you off
with weed.
Maybe
that's what I'm saying. But I don't know though. Like,
but like I'm. By the way,
what about like Steve and Ange and like Tim and like you and like I have like long lasting relationships and partnerships that have been. Very like we're still best friends.
Yeah.
So like on one hand, people are always talking shit. Like I'm so hard to deal with and all this shit. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, isn't the proof in the pudding?
Yeah. So it's kind of a dichotomy. It's kind of it's a unique situation.
From my perspective, I think I'm pretty fair and like giving and like. I if anything, I over communicate, which is what Learning Clues is all about. Like, I think our society has this idea that when we talk about this stuff, it's like a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's really not. Everything's getting better the more we talk about it. Like when you said we're talking about it again, I was like, right on. We're getting closer to the fucking light. We're getting closer to the truth. We're getting closer to understanding each other.
Well, and
does that make sense?
Yeah. And with you, Pat, like I've told you this a million times, like your approach to certain things could be very intimidating, and like a conversation happens, and all of a sudden it's like at a level 10.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and
that's
like, the
bad.
Delivery is just like, whoa, like what are his intentions? But like with you, like especially now that we're going into business together, like when you come at me that way, I'm just like, all right, cool. Fucking, all right. Yeah, we'll figure it. You know what I mean? Like the way you react and the way you say people call you hard and stuff, like that's none of my business. Like, you're going to continue to be that way. I'm never going to try to change that. You're never going to try and change that. Like, you just know that when you're dealing with Pat, you're dealing with fucking lurk nasties.
But I want to try to change that.
Yeah, but that's not our job.
I know, but but you know what though? Like, I see how I did that to him, and that was my mistake. Was I let my ego and you know what? Like, I knew there were people watching. We had like 500 people watching that whole conversation.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Well, that's another really interesting thing, I think, that I feel like
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, and they were just like, bro, Danielle looked at some of the comments and she couldn't even look at what people were saying.
Like,
because I don't think Billy, he out of all the people in the crew, he's probably the least like hated on. Because how could you hate on Billy?
Yeah.
Right? So they were just fucking attacking me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know that I was like intentionally like, yeah, I was like, I was on the phone with you and I was kind of like, I almost even feel like if there was a lav mic right here, I would have been like less like hostile because I wouldn't have had to like project my voice as loud. But because the phone was over there, I feel like I was talking a little louder and I was asking him questions that I knew would get. It's crazy. And then he didn't know that I was doing. And then it just like turned into this thing that wasn't even meant to be like that serious or real.
Yeah.
It turned into that. And I do that with you a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, I'll like fuck with him. I'll poke at him. And then I'll get burned.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, damn, like this just became something like real.
Yeah.
Because I got to be more careful with my aggression and my hostility and like things I say. Because like, even though maybe I'm being a little loud and aggressive and extreme, like there's some truth to that sarcasm and that there's a little bit of truth in there. So I'm thinking like, I'm just like, Billy, do you see how kicking Rudy out is going to affect me? And it's like the way I said it was like ego, and then now both of our character defects are flaring, and now we're not speaking to each other with like love, and we're kind of like doing this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like my shit.
Yeah, and like what I'm working on is like we're very similar people. That's why like we're really good friends, because like we have the same characteristics about a lot of stuff. And like he'll poke at me and then I'll poke at him back. And I'm learning for my own sanity that like when you come at me like that, or we come at each other, like to drop my ego and just let it be calm. Because if I don't, then I'm like in my fucking head furious. Like, fuck Pat, I want to do shit with him.
Like, do you understand?
You know what I mean?
Could you imagine like our children listening to this in 10 years? Could you fucking even imagine?
They're going to be like, how petty our parents are.
I don't know. I disagree.
I do too, man.
They're going to think we're nuts.
I think that, I don't know if you've been listening, but I think something really powerful here just happened. Billy's learning how to trust people. And I'm learning how to be nicer and less aggressive and be more empathetic. And like, and not let my fear of abandonment cause me to like actually push people away. It's some high level shit that we're talking about here. Okay. Maybe the example is petty, but every example is petty.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of compassion in this room, which is really nice.
Marriages break up over petty shit. Miscommunication. You didn't do the dishes 20 times in a row. Now she's copping a resentment. Even like cheating on someone. Like it was a moment of passion, and now you're going to throw away 20 years of marriage over one fucking mistake. That's the kind of society that we're living in.
Yeah.
So I would love to try to push the envelope even just a little bit in the direction of like these conversations don't need to be annoying or uncomfortable or petty.
I think it's really important. I think he's so right. Like, I think a 19-year-old like comes across this podcast and he's like considering shooting heroin because he's feeling a certain way and like he doesn't think there's an out. And then he hears us talking. Like, I mean, of course there's an out. Like, we're just talking about an out. It's squashed.
I mean, right. we're not talking about like principles and like AA like steps and like recovery in a general way. We're like deep in a fucking sponsee relationship, and like we're going deep into like feelings and what does it mean to have a real relationship, and then there's another alcoholic involved who's newly sober who like is a chick, and there's like family. It's like a whole weird thing.
Oh my God, dude. If I had a place to go like growing up where I could like listen to this kind of stuff and like feel a little better, you know what I mean? Or like have some weight lifted off my shoulders. You know what I mean?
And this is just the fucking tip of the iceberg. This is just the fucking beginning.
Yeah.
Like, I think that we're onto something like super, super powerful and special. And I know I've been saying that for like a long time.
My kids are like doing drugs and like if I don't get into this college, like my life is over, or I'm going to kill, my parents are going to hate me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, that's a society we live in. Like,
yeah, that's a great example. And these conversations are just like, are like examples and like proof that like you can have like problems and like work them out and like see each other's side and like be okay. And like, if you really think like, so right now I'm thinking, oh, I want to get Billy excited about what we're doing. Because I'm still afraid.
Well, you have a credo. It's pretty good. Do you remember what it was?
A what?
A credo?
What's that?
Like a mission statement.
Oh.
For learning to lose.
I thought credo was like raw fish.
What is it, Billy? What's a credo for learning to lose?
I don't know. He did it really, like, it's getting better all the time.
Yeah.
Last time it was very like, oh, okay, I can get behind that. But I don't remember exactly how it was said or even really.
It's funny because sometimes.
Next time you got to record it.
I think it probably was recorded. We fucking record everything. Oh, shit.
What's your goal with learning to lose, Billy? Like with this whole movement that's happening with you guys?
I'm going to share a little bit on that because I got some feedback on the podcast, and several people have said to me, I didn't ask or anything. They said, dude, you're a really good interviewer. You have a talent for interviewing.
And you have compassion and empathy and you're actually curious.
Yeah. So I want to continue doing the podcast. The rest of it, I don't know.
Yeah, my vision is kind of like
so let's focus on the podcast
and chaotic.
Yeah. Right. So I would like to like improve the podcast and continue to do it.
Good, because we need you.
This whole time I've been wanting to interview you because I don't know you very well.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like
we kind of did a little bit of that.
Well, let me buy you coffee one day.
Well, no, I mean
on the mic. All right.
We did that a little bit.
But I know we interviewed you, but the thing that gets me is I want to know why you're here, how your head works, what you see.
So I'm here on my day off. Oh. So learning to lose is like the movement that I focus on when I'm off work, which is kind of cool.
The what that you focus on?
This, like helping this movement of what you guys are doing and helping people stay sober and know that there is a way out of whatever fucked up shit they're going through, and that friends can talk over problems like you guys are right now and see a resolution and be compassionate for each other.
Do you run across this in your work situation, this kind of drama, or is it this thick or is it not so much?
Well, I'm along the same lines as Pat, where I like to build up my crew, build up my friends, let each one of them play a role that they get to own into. But I'm also a big asshole. So I'm quick to like cut people off and like not even you're dead to me, but like I got other people waiting in line to take your place to come work with us. So I'm learning compassion here, seeing both of you guys with this dialogue, which is so dope for me to see as someone who's been entrusted with like leading people, that I need to display more of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to have this dialogue. Like the dialogue you guys just had is awesome, but that's not dialogue that I would have.
Nor would like any. I think we went deeper. We go deeper than most. Even though you have like people like Gary Vee and Simon Sinek and a lot of these business owners who talk about how like communication and like empathy in the workplace is the most important thing, they're not going this deep.
Right.
No way. Like people are afraid of their emotions. And
but I mean, maybe you don't need to, because in the workplace it's different. Maybe if someone's a problem, you just need to replace them. Is that or not?
So like in my world, I guess I tend to lead with like my ego, to where like I feel like people on my team should not pay me to hang out with me, but they're gaining so much from me, whether it's through my network. So people that work for me end up at really dope places career-wise. So yeah, it's not like I'm taking my people for granted or anything like that, but my tolerance level, like I need more compassion in my life.
Sorry, this is really important. I want to get back to this, but I just want to do while we're on this topic, I just want to do a quick little thing real quick here. So me and Billy have just been through the ringer, and we've communicated a lot. There was some drama that happened over the weekend, and communication and resolving your differences is not always fun or easy, but I think it can be. And I think that's a big part of what Learning to Lose is all about, is through communication and emotional intelligence, you can resolve your differences. And what are some of your thoughts about what has happened here?
For me, it's hanging in there, not throwing them away and not saying fuck it and packing my bags, and just trying to meet soul to soul, heart to heart, communicate.
And how do you think we did tonight?
I think we've done pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've done pretty well too, and it was all recorded on this podcast. And yeah, man, I care about you, bro.
Yeah, I care about you too.
So
you know what it is? Like, here's a good analogy. Have you guys ever like cracked a walnut?
Yeah.
Like a walnut, the exterior of a walnut is really fucking hard, right? It takes a lot of work to get to that core, like the treat, right? Of like the growth. You need to take pliers to it and break it open. Like that's kind of what we have. Like we're such all fucking hardcore personalities that unless we take a fucking vice to break it open, it doesn't work.
So there's a few different things. I think that you said it kind of like really well that one night. You remember?
What do you say?
We'll say what
the mission statement was, because I feel like we're still figuring this out, and it's exciting, man, because we have there's millions of impressions. This thing is like starting to go now, and it's not just the podcast. Like you're part of the community, and like, I think if we all have like a singular vision and we're all...
If you could put that mission statement down and just put it in front of me daily, it would inspire me.
Right.
There you go.
Well, you said it.
No, you did.
No. But let me... you remember that one day when you were like, it's just been explained to me what we're doing. You remember that?
No, you said it again after that, like 2 days ago when we were talking. And you put it even better, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's something I can get behind for sure, 100%.
What was the basis of it, or what was like the feeling of it?
Fucking no, man, because it was in the middle of us having heated conversation, so it's like.
Well, give me your version of a mission statement for Learning to Lose that I can get behind. Like, what is your intention with this podcast?
Well, it was kind of like changing the world type of a concept, with helping people to get rid of the fake persona and be real, which we all know. But no, he just said it in a very simple, perfect way that I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, shared pain is cathartic.
Yeah, we know that, but I don't know.
Well, I'm happy you're here, Billy.
Write it down.
Also, there's also the thing about like projecting the best version of yourself is contributing to like jealousy and shame. Projecting like the real version of yourself is contributing to like oneness and unity and like empathy and compassion and like being able to relate to someone as they are, not like a fake version of what they are. I mean, there's so many different, even just a simple thing of like growing from pain and loss.
But words are so powerful that even after we're all long and dead, if you put the words in the right way, they inspire for generations.
So I swear we...
So in times like this, Billy, what keeps you from like grabbing a bottle and getting drunk? In times of uncertainty or...
I know you're not a drug addict. I know with absolute certainty that the gates of hell will close behind me if I just take one puff off a joint intentionally. If it's an accident, that's one thing. But
CBD.
I don't want to go to hell.
No, because there's a listener tuning into this podcast right now dealing with something that you guys are dealing with, whether it's with a friend or a spouse. And it can get overwhelming, right? Like tolerating other people and trying to co-live with people.
Me and Rudy were just saying the other night, just how amazing would it be to have some red wine and smoke a joint right now? It would just be such a relief in all this drama and chaos. And she's like, oh my God, yes. But we just know that it's just within my hearts of hearts, I know that I can't safely do that. And the hell that I went through, homelessness, streets, just everything. It's just I'd rather kill myself than do that. Because the pain is too much.
So I feel like we
have to go to the bathroom.
We did a post about this. A few posts. There's been a few posts, and I'm wanting to like find them so that I can. But I really don't think it's something you can kind of explain. What do you think? I mean, what do you think? What just happened here?
This was huge. This was like a therapy session.
Yeah. So there's value to therapy.
So like for me, my takeaway from this is that I need to communicate with people that I love and I care about better, and I need to show compassion in these people because I don't know what they're going through. I can't put myself in their shoes. So like in Billy's case, he just wanted security and safety for him and his daughter.
Yeah.
Right? Where like in your case, you just needed somebody.
But there's another piece to that. He wanted security and safety for his daughter, and he was incapable of trusting someone who he calls his friend.
So based on the history of him,
the
right?
Trust issues that he has. That's his part. And then...
So like if we wouldn't have listened to that, we would have just been like, he's a dick, right? But now knowing what we know, we're like, wait, this is a root problem, right? Like trust
there's always
is
a
deep.
root. There's always a root.
Right.
Like,
so I need to be compassionate towards people that I care about to sit there and actually listen to the root.
Yeah, that's what happened here. But as far as like what we're doing, this is one post that was kind of a thing that...
The more popular most people get, the less honest they want to be.
This is something...
Do you ever feel like that? Do you feel like that's true? I've always, my whole life, I felt like I wanted to do things I've always wanted to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So the more popular I get on these platforms, the more honest I want to be.
So it says, despite its unpleasantness, pain or loss may actually have positive social consequences, acting as a sort of social glue that fosters cohesion and solidarity within groups. Pain or loss, like pain is the cornerstone to growth, right? So why wouldn't we share our pain and our conflicts and our disagreements and our arguments? I was kind of just... Did you hear that one, Billy? No. It's funny because I found this quote online, but I added loss to it.
I fuck with that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So check it out. It says, despite its unpleasantness, pain or loss may actually have positive social consequences, acting as a sort of social glue that fosters cohesion and solidarity within groups. That wasn't it.
No, it was just boiled down to its essence, and it just spoke bing, like that. You know,
Really?
it just woke you up.
All right, guys. I got to get back to Maverick. It was a lovely conversation with you fine gentlemen.
So wait, when does this new sober living house launch? How can people get involved? How can they help the cause? If they want to support financially or with skills?
We're gonna have a dedicated podcast
Okay.
about all that. You should be involved.
Nice.
But we're not quite there yet because there's still a few major little details that we need to get together before we start going really that hard. But I would say in like 2-3 weeks, we'll be able to really do that.
Nice. Because there's a community out there that wants to help this house thrive, 100%.
Right? I just don't think we're ready to go public.
So when you are,
you'll be here.
Right.
We'll do it for sure. It's exciting.
To me, I'm not even involved, and it's overwhelming. So,
I mean, dog, I got to deal with 20 drug addicts, alcoholics, staff, Pat, Martha, and Billy.
Boom.
You down?
Look at that's just dinner time.
You're gonna have gray hair at the end of it.
Nah, it's God's will, man.
Yeah. But I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. Like myself, I'm not sober.
Yeah.
But my dad died. Like his body imploded of alcohol abuse, and he was homeless on Lancashire and Sherman Way.
Wow.
And so
I didn't know that.
I felt like if something like this could have potentially like shown light to him, because it was disruptive, right? Like living with somebody that just drank that much, like growing up. Like,
wow, you said your parents were really solid.
Right. They were. He just had. Is it a flaw? Is alcoholism a flaw? Like that was just his. What literally took him to the grave.
He was able to work and function for a long time, and then finally it.
And then in betweens, like on Friday nights or Sunday after soccer games, it would just be like that extreme alcohol abuse, right?
Dude,
that
this is so crazy.
My mom, my brother, my sister, and myself like had to experience, didn't know how to deal with. So it's part of the why I'm here, right? To like,
wow.
Not even like his legacy play, but like if I can like help you guys reach that one extra person, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can help us reach that 1 million
right.
extra people. That's why you're here.
So that's why I'm here, Billy.
You can help.
No.
He wants to help this.
Because your experience.
Because what it did to my family. So like his death didn't affect me as much as it affected my little brother and my little sister. To me, I just like buried a drunk.
Yeah.
That like would occasionally beat the shit out of my mom.
Wow.
Right? But as the older brother, I saw that. My little brother and my little sister, they saw like a hero, right? That passed away.
Wow.
But I love the guy. Like he taught me how to throw baseball. Like awesome guy, right?
Yeah, so you have a certain kind of emotional intelligence or whatever, because I'm the same. Like I buried a lot of people, and it's just like, okay, well, you were this.
Yep.
And whatever, yeah.
And like what you're saying, Greg, it's not necessarily about like what you're getting out of this is personal growth too. It's not just about your dad and his disease. That, you know what I mean? That affects you, but what you're getting out of this, it's doing something to you inside here that's like helping you maybe. I don't know you that well, but it's maybe helping you turn over some of the insecurities you have or some of the issues that you have that have nothing to do with alcohol and drug abuse.
Or it's introducing me to a proper friend group that I get to see how real friends communicate with each other and like hold court with each other, to where like I come from like a rougher environment, right? Like not necessarily trust nobody, but like I'm out for me. I got to fill my cup up. And like what you guys are showing me is different. And that you guys can do this in a sober way too, right? So the rest of the world, it's like, oh, let's smoke a blunt and then talk about what we're going to work on. Or let's go grab a drink and then talk about what we're going to work on, right? So for me, it's really comforting to come into an environment like this where like that's not the theme, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Selfishly, that's why I'm here, because I desire
It's not selfish.
friends that value each other the way you guys do.
It's not selfish,
It's like a
dude.
different kind of closeness.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a certain kind of bullshit in like the fashion, like in the cool, like, yo, like everyone's just trying to be cool. It's not, there's like a barrier. There's like a wall up. Everyone's got like a wall up, you know? And it's like, what's really going on in there?
Yeah.
No, like Tim is just a king surface guy. That's why he almost is even uncomfortable. You can almost tell, like, he kind of gets like, he's down to go where we go, but he's not like that guy.
No.
And most guys like aren't
Yeah.
like Aaron wouldn't dare go. Neither would Tall. Or maybe Tall would. That could be fun. I don't know.
He needs to go.
I think everyone.
He's. I mean,
I don't know why I
love
bring them into
Tall. I
it.
love Tall. He's one of the kindest human beings of all time. But he's been a product, I feel like, of success, and like he's been around very important people his whole life, and he's been brought up to a level where it's like it's not okay to not be that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which it is, dude.
And that's just
like
a daily struggle.
Yeah.
I thought I knew that.
Yeah.
Until I started getting more and realizing what this could be, and now I'm like hung up on it again.
Yeah.
This is.
But Tall,
something.
I mean, Tall, fucking people love Tall because he's tall, not because he's friends with
I'm just saying.
Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. Like
Right.
I don't know that he knows that a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just think that's like there's something cool about going all the way. So this was another one. That's cool though. I never knew. I love that Billy just got that out of you. I don't know why you've never shared that before.
Yeah, because this is new to me. Like, I'm always like the package, right? So like the token Hispanic kid in tech from South Central LA. So I got to carry myself a certain way and not be transparent and like share with the universe, like
share it.
How my
Where do we
dad's death
find
affected
Greg?
me.
He's fucking awesome, dude. Seriously, how did you like come around? I don't even know.
So I first got introduced to Pat. There was a girl I was living with, and she left a Hyper Crush shirt at my house, and that led me down this rabbit hole. So like, and then I knew of him because Nate,
You looked it up.
Kaya.
You looked up Hypercrush.
Oh, Nate, Kaya,
Totally.
that
And it
too,
took me to their MySpace because I had just moved out here from LA. And so like I didn't know Agora Hill. Like I lived in First Neighborhood in Westlake, and I didn't know Agora Hills. I didn't know what the hell was going on out here. And yeah, this girl spent the night, left a t-shirt at my house, and I was like, oh, what's Hyper Crush? No shit, they're here in the area. That's dope. So that was like the seed, right? And then fast forward, I'm going to say like 7 years later, I ran into Pat at Core Power Yoga, started getting a sense of like the early like movement that like I saw. This was like pre-COVID, right? So like I'm seeing his energy, I'm seeing what he's up to, I'm seeing the value he's trying to bring to the universe.
But this is also like after two of his, he knew Nate pretty well. So he saw Nate and he saw what Ridge was doing. Because Kaya, who edits all our YouTube stuff and is literally, ironically, running this whole podcast. Kaya posts all the Instagram videos. She names every episode. And you're like, how crazy is that? I don't think she'll make it this far into this one because we're 2.5 hours into this podcast. So I don't know if she listens to them all the way through, but she listens to enough to give it a title.
So I've been good at finding like that undiscovered talent.
That girl Kaya that does all that came from his Hub 101. So you knew of Ridge because Kaya went to Ridge.
So Kaya came in, worked for me, didn't really know what she wanted to do. I identified what she was passionate in doing, so I let her do more of that. Edit my videos, edit our content here. Like, this is your show.
But then how did she find us?
So then Kaya connected with Nate. Or somehow.
Oh, because Nate was over there with you.
No, Kaya or my boy Julian, somebody. But it's dope because Kaya's an example like of people that come and work for me, right? So they show up. They don't, not that they don't have skills, but they don't know like this is my lane. So it's up to me as a leader to help them develop that lane that brings me value as well as their boss. But then like our network allows them to go out there and just continue to grow.
Right.
So you have the same thing going on in your business, all the editing and filming and stuff, social media presence.
So it's really cool. Danielle got a taste of my world a few days ago. So in November, I left Hub 101 because I was like, all right, there's those that do and those that teach, right?
Hold up.
So like,
Kaya dated Wickham. Do you remember her?
poor girl.
So Kaya started working at Ridge, and she started dating Wickham.
She's cute.
Yeah, big time.
Really smart too. Her parents are like, they run a church in like South Dakota, really cool people. So she's sweet.
And then, but then
so in that core power yoga, remember I ran into you there?
And then you hit me up on Instagram.
Right.
Because you saw the Learning to Lose thing.
Yeah. But that's so not anti my character, but like for me to reach out to somebody and say, hey, let me help what you're up to. Like, it feels good now, right? But
it's almost maybe a God shot.
Yeah,
I don't know if you believe in God or whatever, but
no, bro.
Because here you can. It's an avenue to help people, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's why I'm here. It's because you guys are helping people.
But also, like it's just something that's like contributing in a positive way to the world. We're not just trying to make something dope and sell it. Like there's a real message. We're trying to live our best lives and be of maximum service to our fellow humans, which will actually give us the most happiness in return. It's kind of the secret that
it's so weird though, but it's by exposing ourselves that we help others.
Right.
So, it's like cathartic for us,
like check it out.
It helps people.
Right. Check this out. I just found this.
So we've been talking now for a little while. Has the message become any clearer? It's fucking crazy. I feel like Billy's finally starting to understand something I thought he understood, but I guess he kind of didn't.
So it appears that we're on a mission to help the world, I guess, by showing real people. And it's okay to be a real person. In fact, it's really the only way to feel good about yourself. You're not going to measure up.
Well, I just showed him Kylie Jenner's Instagram, and I'm telling him, well, this is kind of like the bar for most women, and it's unreasonable, and how does that make people feel? It's just one example.
But what I didn't understand is all kids from 7 to 27, social media is like their likes and following is how they measure their value.
I honestly can't even imagine what it would be like to be in high school right now. If someone in the class has 100,000 followers, they're the most important.
Dude, I look like
Well, I just went through the Learning to Lose page, and like he's been going through a lot. He's been like distant, sad, in turmoil, in conflict with me. Like, so this has been, I think, also building up. It's funny to have a record of it, but there's like a bunch of posts that's like Billy's sad. We're working out our differences. Like, so I feel like hopefully we're approaching like a breakthrough.
But his strength in continuously showing up like is an awesome example for us, right?
Yeah.
That it's like we just have to show up.
Yeah.
Because he's had every reason in the book to not show up, right? But he continues to show up.
Well, I think but he's also had every reason in the book to continue to show up. But our minds are the type of minds.
Because you've had a tough year. You know what I'm saying? And like,
but it hasn't been the toughest, right?
Well, it's been tough because of the family breakup.
Yep.
Yeah.
But besides that.
But, on one hand,
it's good.
On one hand, he's like, this is so great.
It's been good.
Yeah.
No, you're holding up.
Around, hanging out, like being around people.
Talking to the mic, Gus.
Yeah.
Being around people and like, I don't know, just from like when the first time I met you at prime time, you were just like, not that, like you were just really almost like a turtle in its shell. Like you were just like, you only talk to Pat really, like, you know what I mean? Like, but now you're like a lot more approachable. Like,
well,
hey Gus, how are you doing? Like, well, you know what I mean? Like you come up to people and you engage them. Like,
it's been a slow process.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I just want to kind of shed a little light on that. I would probably say Learning to Lose as a brand, as a podcast that's actually has some listeners, I think the beginning of the quarantine is sort of a nice little landmark, or kind of a little, what do you call it? Like a
pinpoint.
Like a pinpoint of where you could say this all started. Which it has, 7 months, 8 months? I mean, we haven't really even been all in on this for even a year. I feel like, let's just call it a year. This is still year 1. And the hashtag's at over 8 million.
To show you how important this is to the universe.
Yeah. So
and how much the universe needs this.
But I also think it's important for somebody like Billy to kind of like wrap his head around that, because brands and businesses take decades to build, right? They become super lucrative eventually, but they take a long time to, I mean, Joe Rogan's he's approaching 2,000 podcasts.
Jesus. And that's one of the many things he's been up to.
Yeah, but we haven't even done 100 yet.
That'll be an
so I don't even know that I don't think that his podcast even mattered till it was on its 500th episode. Like, just to kind of put it into perspective. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like sometimes because for me and Billy, we've put a lot of time and energy into this.
And I don't think Joe Rogan ever gave a fuck if it got big or not. That's his thing.
That wasn't the intention.
That was the best part about it. And we didn't really either.
We don't.
Well, I mean, because me and Billy used to always say this was good for us to do, because it was like almost like a meeting.
Like, Joe Rogan started that podcast because he liked talking to his friends about UFC.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Right.
That's what it started. Like, he's just like, did you see that knockout? Did you see that fight?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What would you have done differently? And they talk about martial arts, and like, we're the same shit, but we're talking about our emotions.
And also there's a common thread of recovery woven through the whole thing.
I can't wait for Billy to start bringing in guests. I want to meet like people that he's like, you know what? I'd like to interview you.
Yeah, like have you? I feel like Sasha was like about to come.
I've asked a few people. I want my stepdad to come on.
Wow. You gotta push though. Like
you guys should get Astrid in here.
I mean, okay.
Do it.
Wow. I was actually just on the phone with Serena because episode 4 is about you moving into this house.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? Let's tell the whole story, and let's use everything that we have to tell it. And she's like, she doesn't feel comfortable doing it.
What, the night here?
Yeah. She's not, she won't do it. I mean, she would if Billy like specifically called her and said, I want you to do it. But her thing is like, I don't want to expose her because the repercussions could end up on Billy. So it's one thing for me to be like getting crazy with this show and having people like Xander or Johnny like wanting to fuck with me because of what I did on the show. But if I make a video about him, the repercussions could go back on him, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah.
So me and Kaya had a whole conversation about what we can and can't put in that episode, and we're pretty much gonna have to just stay away from her. Like, just
really
kind of
get her in there.
Kind of just keep it to like there was something that happened on your birthday and you had a falling out with your wife. Like, we don't really need to get into specifics. We have footage of Veronica crying. We have footage of Billy the next day, like moving in, and there was like he had a breakup. Like, I don't know that we need to go. What do you think?
I think you've got that advice from Andy Horowitz also.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good idea because Astrid is potentially coming here with gas cans and matches.
So that's
I fuck with that though.
Well, I don't.
Is that the ex-wife?
No,
No, that's
no.
someone much more nefarious.
I don't really. I'm down, but like, yeah, it's. Well, I mean, I'm more worried about her finding you, attacking you, coming after you. Because I'm not tripping on me. Like, fuck. Like, I'll blur her face out, and I'm like,
yeah, it's more about the ethics and the morals of it. So I don't know if it's right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I can't wait for like.
But my question to her was, why does she get a pass, but Xander, Johnny, Elliot. Why did none of those people get a pass? Because if we're not putting anyone on blast, then the show's going to be
ultimately
super
Xander
boring.
and Elliot like it, even if they say they don't,
Right?
Because it makes them famous, or it gives them credit or whatever.
No, and I just think that
I just can't believe
Astrid isn't. Like Xander walks into this house and knows there's going to be a camera. People like Astrid, like
that's the guy with the backpack, right?
Yeah. Astrid walked in here. She's old school. Like she's not down with social media. She doesn't fuck around. She had a pretty heavy thing she told us about, and
Yeah, but that wouldn't go in.
no, I know, but it should kind of like that.
It would just be like her like flipping out on. I mean, I'm probably gonna post that to TikTok at least, just because she'll probably never even see it.
I wouldn't, dude.
But real talk, Billy, what's like the hot plant right now? What are people buying? What's in people's homes? As a guy, what will level me up in my house?
Later.
Dude, that's like the his mentality when it comes to that. Like, you know Bam Margera is?
Yeah.
Like the reason that guy is so fucking dope and so famous is like there were no boundaries.
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's my thing.
I dare you to drive 60 miles an hour down the road and jump into a bush and film it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
So I literally compare us to Jackass all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of like the emotional Jackass. Like, you think that Bam and you think Johnny Knoxville is going to post like a really heated, gnarly personal argument with his wife?
No.
Nope.
He didn't even talk about her.
It takes a different kind of crazy to do that. So like, it's like, I love that you just brought that up, because it's like, yeah, man, it takes a lot of courage to do what we're doing. It's a different kind of courage.
Yeah.
It's not like obvious, like, oh, they're fucking jumping out of a window into a fucking shopping cart.
Yeah.
It's like this fool just exposed like his most vulnerable moment with the person he loves.
Yeah.
And they're arguing, and they're gonna still be okay afterwards. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy with a purpose of saying, like, you can argue with your wife and get through it too. And look how bad our argument was. And we're good.
Yeah.
Look how bad it got. And we're good. So now you can be good too.
Hey, can I bring up something totally off subject for a minute? Mm-hmm. So my Adventures in Hinge, our dating app.
Oh, yes.
Didn't you meet your girlfriend on?
Yeah. And then I went back on it, and then they fucking banned me for life.
Damn, what'd you do?
Nothing, dude.
No, you did something.
Wait, what do you mean?
How do you get banned from a dating
He must have
app?
sent a dick
I've never
pic.
heard of that.
Wait, hold up, dog. She must have, like, sent something in there.
I don't know.
He's turning red. He did
No,
something.
he did something. Something happened
no.
with it.
No. Like, no, dude. I'm not chill with like sending dick pics and stuff nowadays, because it's always gonna.
So, but what do you think happened?
I don't know.
Really? You have no idea?
No.
Well, she must have.
Are you
lurked.
guys still together?
No.
Bro, she went in your Instagram and deleted shit.
TikTok. No, she ended up not being the one.
That's happened to me once.
okay.
They went in my phone when
my
I was
God.
asleep.
Danielle called her.
So who was it? How did that? Wait, what?
Yeah, I still don't know, dude.
Oh, you know what? You know what happened? One video may have just gotten removed because it was like her ass. That's probably what happened. And you probably turned that one video into like 3 or 4. And
No. There were 3 videos deleted
how?
for sure. Tell me, dude. I have no idea.
TikTok must have removed them because they were like, I just had it. But that's the thing.
But
is
TikTok
usually-
lets you know that
Yeah,
they
you
removed
get
the
content
video.
I didn't get
violations.
nothing.
So there you go. She deleted it.
Well, you get a violation and the video becomes dark.
Right.
But
Hold
you
on,
went a
Billy.
date.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay, so here's the quick synopsis. Right
You went on
away,
a date.
I finally went on a date yesterday.
No way.
But first of all,
Insert cheer here.
so I get on an app. I've never been on a dating app. Never thought I ever would. Right away, I found hookers, and I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that was."
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
And then I found a scammer who was trying to make me fall in love with her and give her money. And then I've been chatting with a few. It's like for dudes, you go through hundreds of pictures, and you're like, "Can I see myself actually kissing this person?" No. She's hot. Oh, 22. No, she's...
Yeah, it's hard.
And then the ones that like you, oh, I'm 65. And
I mean, it's even harder when you're
So wait, have you
40s
finally
and
matched?
50s, you know?
I met up with somebody I was chatting with. She was real cool, but she didn't look anything like her profile.
Catfish.
So you're not into her at all.
No.
So you took her out on a date and she looked nothing like her profile?
Well, I mean, I could tell it was her, but that's about it.
Like,
she looked really cute in her bio.
Is this that?
And then she showed up and
emo chick you showed me?
No.
And then she showed up and she was like chubby and like not.
She was like 30 pounds heavier.
Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Billy.
And then I met this girl.
You gotta find out their Instagram. You gotta go to the
Talking to the mic.
look at the fucking tag photos of her. Don't be manipulated.
Yeah, I tried to do that. I tried to show him how to do that. But
You can't just be like, oh yeah, she's cute. You know that if the girl posts like.
Well, I wanted to give her a chance because
No, I'll
she's
do
real
the
cool.
Google reverse image search. You know what I'm saying? Like,
If they don't have full body pics.
Yeah, now I know. Oh, she's really plump.
so wait, is this your
Yeah.
first date after your separation?
Yeah, this is my first.
What was
date.
the feeling leading up to the date? Like, did you like trim your nails? Did you comb your hair? Like, walk me through it.
I was the usual, like really late, still at work, rushing over there. So I just went in my work clothes. And then Pat called me when I was trying to find the place and just fucking tore me a new asshole. And I was like, didn't even know where I was, and I was all emotional. And anyway, it was fun. It was
Right.
exciting to go on a date, but it was.
Where'd you guys go?
We walked around the Silver Lake Reservoir because she lives real
nice.
close to that.
That's where Juliana lives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, and when we were walking around the reservoir, there was just all these hot, like, hip chicks all around, like,
Yeah.
doing their thing. But
You
anyway,
guys get like an ice cream or just walked?
no, we just walked.
And then there was a good night kiss?
Or a hug goodbye.
Oh, no, there's no way. There's no way. I just,
You just said goodbye?
I gave her a hug and said
And
goodnight.
you never text her again?
Well, that was one day ago.
You gonna text her?
Probably because I just want to be a good guy. But
You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to text her. You can ghost her and it'll be okay.
And then you know what else I met? So I got to this point realizing that...
How old is she?
35.
Oh, damn.
Damn, Billy. Go, Billy.
Let me see a picture.
Well, she doesn't look like this.
Oh.
Let's see what she sold, right?
Yeah, let's see what she got you for. You bought a lemon.
No, but what was that feeling like before that first date, Billy? Like, were you all giddy? Like,
No, I was kind of scared.
good.
So these are the girls that like me. I'm just not going to go out with her. It's just not going to happen. So this is... She's gone.
No,
Boom, she unmatched you. Boom, she beat you to the punch.
Oh, she wasn't into me either. I probably don't look like my profile.
Wait, I fuck with Billy dating heavy, bro. Like, I need a camera crew around this guy when...
Well, I almost just wanted to film that right there, but I already
Does that
got,
look like me?
Yeah, that's you. Oh, you got a new phone, dude?
there's just so many fucking videos.
But
Oh my-
you know what? I bet this girl...
Billy's got a shirt.
What? Look at this guy.
Fuck yeah.
That, yeah.
He looks like... No shirt, Billy.
Well, I like it when the girls put it out there and they give you an actual picture without makeup and what they actually look like.
Yeah.
Because then I know.
Yeah. Well, you gotta go next time you're debating. You gotta go to their Instagram. Let us help you really figure it out next time.
That's all right. You went for a nice walk.
I have another one lined up.
Nice.
love it. This fool's got full shirt off, titty pierced.
So this
Oh,
girl...
he's got his titties
I'm
pierced?
supposed to be going out.
Who's your
with her.
sponsor, bro?
Cute. Oh, no.
No?
Plumper.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
How can you tell?
How I can tell, look at those cheeks. And then...
All right. This is gonna be too long to upload. So thanks
There's
for
a full-
listening,
there's
guys.
Peace.